Happy Bitcoin Thursday, freaks. It's your boy Odell here for an impromptu Citadel Dispatch, the show focused on actionable Bitcoin and freedom tech discussion. I told you guys we had a crazy group of people at Bitcoin Park this week for Open Source Week, and as a result, we are doing an awesome party rip. Obviously, Rabbit Hole Recap was supposed to be going on right now, but Marty has something that he's taking care of. So Rabbit Hole Recap will be tomorrow instead. So we decided to do this party rip. Before I get started, obviously the show, you guys know the deal. The show is funded purely by you, by our audience. We don't have ads or sponsors. I'm incredibly grateful that you all continue to support the show. The easiest way to support the show is podcasting 2.0 apps such as Breeze, Fountain Podcasts, Echo LN. Simply search Citadel Dispatch. Choose how many sats per minute you think the show is worth, and those sats stream directly to my node. So thank you for doing that. You can also support the show by going to citadeldispatch.com and sending Bitcoin. It is appreciated. All the links are at citadeldispatch.com. I know it's a bear market. I know it's a recession. If you can't spare sats, simply sharing the show with friends, retweeting it on Twitter, subscribing on YouTube, Twitch, all the platforms. It's on every podcast app. Doesn't matter. Just subscribe, leave a review. I appreciate it. It's all appreciated. Okay. I mean, I feel like you guys know the deal, so I'm just gonna skip that part. Boostergrams are awesome. Boostergrams are messages with sats attached to them. I always read the top 4 because there's like 6 dispatches this week. We only have 3 boosts from yesterday, so I'm going to read all 3. We have Ride or Die Freak Ape Mythrander with 7,777 sats saying, I'm still a Lightning noob and an on-chain maxi. Let me know when we have Taproot-based Lightning channel openings and other privacy improvements. We have at Nunya Business with 5,000 sats. Matt, Val mentioned Phantom LN nodes. Is there any possibility that same tech could be used for failover? I'm looking for a way to clone my LN node and BTC full node. Both are on my Raspberry Pi, so as to have a way for my entire my node BTC setup to fail over to the exact same setup on another Pi. The thing that is a big mental hurdle for me is the Raspberry Pis would have different MAC and IP addresses. Can you ask Val about this if you don't know? Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I can. I'll ask Val after the show. And then at Mark C with 500 sats just did a fire emoji. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting the show. Just a reminder, Steve Lee is coming on the show tomorrow morning. And then we're going to do a Super Bowl Sunday rip before the Super Bowl with Casey Rod Armor to discuss inscriptions and ordinals and what the fuck is going on over there with that. But without further ado, we have a fantastic group of people here. It's a little bit different than a traditional dispatch. We have absolutely no topic to discuss except for like Bitcoin and nostr and open source shit. But we're just going to shoot the shit and have a good time. Join us obviously in the live chat. And if you want to touch on certain things, just hit us in the live chat while we're going. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce all of our guests. We have return guest and good friend of myself and the pod, NVK. How's it going, NVK?
Hey man, thanks for having me. Fun times. You guys are having an awesome week here at the park.
It's insane.
Yes.
Can you see the exhaustion in my eyes?
Yeah, I mean, we're all dead.
I recorded with NVK earlier today on his podcast. So.
Right. And there's a lot of discussions on discounted dick butts on the blockchain. And now discounted farts.
That's a good point. And we have Vivek here. How's it going, Vivek?
It's going well. I see the studio booth. You know, a lot of people are starting podcasts. I think like I'm going to launch one pretty soon. It's really exciting.
You can reuse the mics.
You're that freak. Like and subscribe to Vivek's podcast. Once he moves to Nashville, you can use the studio whenever you want, Vivek. We have the man who's the most veteran podcaster in the room. We have Paul Miller here. How's it going, Paul?
Hello. Yeah, I'll teach you all some lessons from my long years in the trenches.
Did you guys have computers back then?
We did have, but it was a podcast because it went to an iPod, you know.
Oh, that's where it's from.
Yeah.
What's an iPod? We have a man that only goes by one first name, Tony. How's it going, Tony?
What's up, guys? It's good. Good to be back in Nashville. It's been a few months or maybe a year or something. I don't know. Time is so slow, but I'm here and it's an awesome time at the park.
Sweet. Tony doesn't have any social media, so when I told the guest to retweet the tweet, he said he's just send it to his Signal buddies.
Which most of them are here.
And we have I didn't list you guys separately, and we also have the Bens. The Bens are here. We'll start with
Hello.
we have Ben Price and Ben Carmen from the Bitcoin Company. Ben, why don't you say hi first, just so the people on the audio feed know.
Which one?
Oh, did I say Ben? It was a long night last night. Carmen, just say hi to the freaks.
Hello, everyone. Third podcast this week, so let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going. And Price, now you say hi.
Hello.
There we go. So now you know everyone's voice. If you're listening on the podcast feed, I hope you can keep track. So where do we want to start? What do we want to talk about?
Let's go straight to 300 kilobyte blocks.
You want to talk about 300 kilobyte blocks? Never going to happen.
Oh, we're starting UASF tomorrow. We have hats.
So do you? What's the compelling argument for it? You want to give? I mean, I know what the compelling argument is, but you want to give?
Yeah, you can
an
do
overview.
radios, in the AM radio kind of thing, shortwave.
Well, no, I mean, I think the real argument is
They're small.
the real argument is when we increase the block size to essentially 4 megs. It should have been we should have been operating under the assumption that blocks would always be full. That's the only safe assumption. Like, of course they're going to be full. But instead, in the meantime, we've just had relatively empty blocks consistently. And now that they're full, everyone's like, that's crazy. Like, that's too much of a burden on my node. But the real question should have been, when we increased it in the first place, would it be a burden on nodes or would it not be a burden on nodes?
Full right when they changed it, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
the big blockers were all like, oh, where's the block?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So the argument for 300 kilobytes is like, if you don't like big blocks, then let's make them smaller, right?
Yeah.
Well, full blocks.
But, for
is
people that
the-
don't know, like, Bitcoin started.
Well, they'll always be full if it's at
Yeah,
300K.
but
Bitcoin started 32 megabyte blocks, and then Satoshi down it to 1 megabyte. So
The original sin.
the original.
If you talk to the big blockers. Thank God we don't have 32 meg blocks. That'd be
No, I
fun.
mean, you would have. Well, one plus side of that is that the Raspberry Pi fetish would have never happened.
No node in a box.
That's right.
How do you feel about Raspis?
Raspberries are a shit.
Has the supply chain restored and
They have the
they're like
most
200
closed
bucks?
source, most awful company as a chip maker. So
But if you had 32 megabyte block and then you had this setup with SegWit or Taproot, then you'd have like 128 megabyte blocks, right?
well, yeah. It depends on how you want to look at it. If you
But
wanna
if
look
you
at it from
if
the
you did all
discount
this
amount.
VByte
Yeah.
shenanigans,
Yeah, that would be for normal. Well, provided the discount would be the same, right? Because
Mhm.
we'll use a different discount formula.
yeah. But if we used all the same
Yeah, it
formula,
would be
then
just 128. Yes,
yeah.
minus the Coinbase witness and all that stuff. So I think it's 32 bytes or something, right?
I don't know.
Ben is the one that should know this thing.
That's
Carmen.
that's too that's
You're
too
a core
technical.
dev, right?
No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think that like people weren't expecting actual 4 megabyte blocks. Like, it was always like, well, in theory, if somehow we had only witness data in the block, it would be 4 megs. But no one thought that would happen.
I mean, thankfully now we have dick butts filling the
Yeah,
blocks.
I mean,
So
well,
it fixes all the FUD about the trail emissions.
yeah,
The security budget. We're gonna be secured by monkeys now.
more than the storage stuff, though, the stuff I personally cared about even back then was IBD. That was like the big issue.
but bandwidth isn't like the biggest restriction in IVD. Normally, it's like validating everything, which is CPU.
True.
Well, unless you're going through Tor and then
Oh yeah.
I mean,
have
how
fun syncing that.
how much drive space do you need for 1 year of 4 megabyte blocks? Somebody did the math, like just average.
4 times 144.
I mean, it's definitely drive space is definitely not the issue.
Well, so there's one issue, which is like there's a threshold of price change on SSD drives, right? So like I think right now, like the commodity sort of like SPAC, right, that China puts out is 1 terabyte drives. Sorry, actually, it's the Philippines that does those drives. Anyways, and once you go to 2 or 4 terabyte drives, the price like is completely different. It's not just like double the price kind of thing. I can't remember which one is the one that's like the standard right now.
I think I saw a tweet from like Stefan Livera that said it like went from 28 cents per gig or something like that to now 3 cents, something like that.
Yeah, but that's only for like the main size, right? That you get with all the shit books and
Hold the mic closer to your
Yeah.
mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that.
so like whatever is the drive that that is the like the standard for most things.
Yeah.
That's going to be the drive that has that price. As soon as you deviate from that one specific model that everybody gets,
He was talking about just a Samsung like typical whatever
Yeah. It's
model,
probably
like
1 terabyte.
870 Evo. Like
yeah, but it's probably like 1 terabyte. right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but then 1 terabyte's probably not enough anymore, right?
Yeah.
I mean, once
So
we
now
hit
you have
that
to go to 2
threshold,
terabytes.
That's gonna suck for everyone's Raspberry Pis right now. That's gonna suck for a lot of people once we hit that threshold.
Good.
It's just a reality, yeah.
Well, we
It'll
can
suck.
soft fork the size down. It's very easy.
Or just let them have prune nose.
How far are we from 1 terabyte?
He just randomly talks without a
I
mic
think
in front of him.
are we like a 700 gigabytes already?
No, it's like 600, I
600.
think.
Okay.
Well, like
How
Yeah,
much?
but
also,
that's
like-
gonna change very fast.
Yeah.
Ben, how much with TX index?
Yeah, yeah, there's,
One,
like, the
what compact
indexes,
filters, all
yeah.
that. Like where we at with all
so
the
it
good
gets-
shit?
I mean, I don't know, but
I mean, technically, you only need about 300 blocks to be safe.
yeah.
That's the math.
Well, no, you should have 216 or 2016, like the difficulty adjustment period. But yeah, I just did the math. It's 210 gigabytes a year if you have 4 megabyte blocks all year.
Okay, the block size is never going to change again, right?
No, we're just gonna talk about that for like the next hour.
Like we're not. It's
What-
not going to be soft forked down.
What
It's
about
not
Luke
going to be.
Dasher's proposal where it's like a temporary?
It's not going to be soft forked
decrease?
up.
I
It's
like
not going
that
to be
too.
hard forked up. Like it is what it is. That's what we got. That's what our grandkids are going to have. It's never going to fucking change again.
We were
I think it would change again. Like at some point, it will for some other different reason.
You think it'll increase?
It could be. It could also go down too. I mean, we don't know.
we were having.
But do you want to bet?
It might
Yes,
not be in my
please
lifetime.
bet.
Bet by
do
like
DLC.
2140.
Do
Yeah.
a DLC real quick.
Good deal. That's right. So our kids can earn the bat. Like it's gonna,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
The hair-
300 year
Grandkids,
bat.
yeah.
300 year bat.
My grandkids are going to have to like move out of their house for like MVK's grandkids.
That would be pretty funny. Out of nowhere, right? Like 300 years later, in a spaceship.
the DLC
right?
gets
Shows up
activated.
Somebody, with my beard, just like knocks on the door. Hey, bye. It's my house now.
Eviction.
There's a
I thought granddad was humble. What
Are
happened?
they gonna use Factum for that eviction by then?
Oh god.
There's a conversation during Nashville Bit Devs that kind of like got me thinking.
That
like-
bit devs was so good.
It was really great, and right now anybody could configure their mempool if they know what they're doing to not accept these, and like it's not even a soft fork. It's just like a way of like voting with your feet of like, hey, I'm not going to help these inscriptions move around. And it made me really curious. Tony, you mentioned there's some percentage where at that point it is actually becomes difficult for people to like
10%.
publish, and 10% of the people rejecting it, or
10% of that. So 90% of the people
Use
have to
the
reject
mic.
it.
so if 90% of the people were running this fork version, or not fork, just the modified
Patched,
mempool,
yeah.
Except
it could like it would be really interesting. Like if people really care about this, they really hate this, they want to do something about it. It is kind of a thing that you can do. And
Kind of
you
feels like a.
can't. No,
Well,
not in this
You
case.
know what it is?
different.
MVK.
It's not gonna.
This is a change.org petition.
I
Right?
know.
Like this
That's
is
right.
what this is.
it's
And
not-
it needs
It's
the
a feel-good
song. It needs
thing.
that song, the Olympic
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
it's a feel good
Or-
thing, but it's not gonna change the fact that you can get these into blocks.
The
It's just-
incentives are
Exactly.
different for this.
but it's gonna it would at that point of 90%, it would make it annoying.
no.
Yeah,
it
you'd have
wouldn't.
to
No,
like
see,
figure out the Luxor CEO's phone number and like have to like ask him, how much does it cost?
You
So-
just
so the
force
problem
things out of
with
band.
this this specific use case, the incentives are aligned for them to keep a copy of the shit on AWS, and then all their nodes would just point there to sync for this specific purpose. There's enough money in keeping those inscriptions.
But that would be a novel way of. I mean, like right now, we're very used to just you publish transactions
Yeah.
and it hits the quote unquote
Right.
mempool, just bam.
There is no
That
the
would-
mempool.
That'd be very different.
That's right.
Yeah, we all
I
use
mean,
this
my,
as a
that's why
my
I made air
mempool
quotes
keeps
my
one set
fingers.
byte transactions forever.
So Ben, I'm like
That's the
I'm a toxic maximalist that is struggling to run a full node. How can I witness prune so I don't have to keep these like inscriptions on my node? Is that possible?
You go beg Peter Wall or someone to implement it. Like it's not implemented yet, but you can just run a normal prune node. Like there's really no reason to run a witness prune node over a normal prune node.
See, the problem to me is not against the disk space, really, is the bandwidth, right? But that's a 4 megabyte block anyway, so it's screwed regardless. Because even if you're filtering those out, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're like pruning it, right, filtering out, you're still downloading it, the whole data. So like that's a 4 megabyte problem. It's not like the data itself.
What's the limit?
But,
Yeah.
but for the hard drive limitation at least.
Yeah, but the hard drive,
Right?
that's the
It's
sort of
$100,
like the list of our
yeah.
concerns. Yeah, even though it sucks.
All right. So let's say if you did fill them up the proper way, like, are there cool things you could do? Say with James, like vault proposal, like
No, it's
how-
just storing random witness data. It's like the only
Yeah.
thing you're doing here.
Yeah.
but that
And
that would
maybe Barack's multisig. That's about it.
Yeah, there's nobody using
Yeah.
that space.
No, I mean in the future though, there will be use cases, right?
Yeah, but those will have a higher economic
Yeah, like-
sort of like value,
yeah,
right? So they'll probably push
they'll
out.
price out. The
they'll-
inscriptions,
yeah.
Yeah,
The
most-
inscriptions just sort of like float to the top, just like shit.
like all the interesting thing is like how do we use block space
Good
efficiently?
metaphor.
And then we just have the other end of the spectrum, which is inscriptions. Like, what if we just abuse the block space? And so like
It's
if it's
like
empty,
great
it's
attack.
empty.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Can it just like it's absolutely brilliant to begin with. I mean, like what he came up with.
no, I love it.
And like okay, it's showing that this is possible. I mean, it could have been a state actor just immediately just pushing keto pictures, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
instead we got dick butts.
The whole thing.
Only like 7 have made it in, right?
No, there's like
No.
thousands.
Yeah. The whole thing is really funny to me because, I try to focus on stuff that I like about Bitcoin. And like I made a tweet just completely like separate from inscriptions. I just said it's a big letdown when people have like are Bitcoiners, but they have like shitcoin tendencies. And then everyone started attacking me like I was like coming at Casey or something. Like he's living rent free and everyone's
So who were you
freaking out.
going after?
I was going after
What a snipe.
there's particular people that like to get, advisors and throw conferences and things like that are pretty much the same behaviors that were very common in 2017. So that's particularly, yeah.
I will say that just because NFTs are on Bitcoin, it does not like ethically absolve minting, selling an NFT. If your goal is to find like a greater fool and pump the price of something that in the long run is just a receipt for a JPEG, like that's I think it's immoral.
On this one, you get the actual JPEG in a way. The JPEG.
Sure, you get the
lives.
JPEG, but yeah, if this kind of this whole thing for collectibles, like
Yeah, no, it's not my thing.
There's no
But I have
limit on
one-
the supply.
But in this
I
case,
have
you actually
one-
get the JPEG.
I have an ordinal inscription, really.
But would you
I
say
could
this?
download a copy of that JPEG.
I know.
There's no
you can
limit
copy
on the
from my Twitter
supply.
profile
Yeah, yeah.
too. I
But-
use the same one.
This wouldn't have taken off if people weren't so turned off by it, right? It was Streisand essentially
Yeah.
that propelled it to the
There's
top.
also going to be a lot of wash trading. You see a lot of wash trading in this stuff because it's inherently illiquid, right? It's literally 1 of 1 or 1 of 10 or whatever. So a lot of wash trading between each other. I mean, I definitely agree on the moral premise.
this is
Um,
akin to gaming, right? I mean, like you either like gaming or you don't. Like the folks that like collectibles and stuff, like there is no amount of explaining that something is not like what they think it is. Like they're really into it. Like they love this stuff.
It's one thing to like collectibles, but it's another thing to like hope some idiot buys a JPEG off you in the future.
I like moral arguments from someone who's pro child labor.
Absolutely. I was just watching this video of this 3-year-old chimney sweep from the 1900s.
They have small.
And then Paul's like,
so
"This is what they
adorable.
took from us."
This is what But I do think it'd be interesting as a fundraising mechanism. You buy an NFT that's on the blockchain, but like it gets sent to like a burn address. So the JPEG exists. You spent money, but you're never going to sell it.
Yeah, that's my plan with mine. It's not for sale. Actually, I'll sell it for 21 million Bitcoin.
There you go.
When the project is over, I'll take the coins, print a picture of all the UTXOs that are left, actually consolidate it into a single one, and then turn off the last Raspberry Pi.
And
That's
put it on
beautiful.
put it on a Casacious too, all 21 million.
Yeah, no, I don't like those.
The ordinals coin join is a fun idea.
Yeah.
Where you just all put yours in and everyone gets a different one. Someone might get more than one.
It'll be really fun.
Does it
if they-
incentivize
loot
coin
box
joins, kind of?
almost.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a
Be
loot
like a
crate or whatever.
Loot
Yeah.
box.
It would be hilarious if we've been talking about like the fee market forever. I've been talking about like people using on-chain Bitcoin. I've been talking about people doing collaborative transactions. And if all of it comes together because the .eths are all running their own nodes, doing coin joins to
Yeah,
get
listen,
different
whatever it takes,
ordinals.
right?
No,
Whatever it takes.
This literally happened. I was talking to a former Bitcoiner that has transitioned off to the ETH a few years back, and she's trying to sync a node now. She's like, "Oh, I'm syncing a Bitcoin node. Like inscriptions are bringing me back." She sends me a screenshot, and it's like, "Oh, in 10 weeks it'll be synced." She's like, "Why is this taking so long?" I was, "You fucking people. That's why it's taking so long. Like, what are you fucking talking?"
Well, you
about?
should also told her to sync a ETH node and see how long that takes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How many do we know? Have numbers on how many new people are running nodes now?
Probably some crazy amount. Like
I
we
know
must
that's their argument. Is there's look at all these new
Yeah.
people. But, like,
Where do
how
people
many are
look
there?
these days? Because it used to be like Bit nodes or whatever, that thing that Baji had, right?
Normally it's Luke Dasher's site. But
Luke
I
Dashers
don't
too,
know.
yeah.
But now the problem is too, is the degen are gonna just spin up like 50,000 nodes on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Like, just like credit card, press button.
Or someone's gonna make like the Electrum of ordinals or something. Udi was texting me trying to get me to sell ordinals, and I was like, "Fuck off!" But he was saying he has a Discord with like 4,000 people running new Bitcoin nodes. So like,
Holy
that's,
shit.
that's kind of
Well, you got to do the Udi discount, but even if it's like
Yeah.
1,000 people, that's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
I was talking to my boy Rob too, and he was saying like some of our clubhouse friends are selling ordinals for like 0.2 and stuff. Like there's like they're actually like being sold and bought, and the whole
someone
thing's crazy.
By the way,
some
Casey is
sold-
very kind of mad that everybody keeps on calling ordinals, but it's actually the inscription.
Inscriptions, yeah.
Yeah.
But that boat has sailed, I guess.
I thought they were
Uh,
called Casey's JPEGs.
That's right.
I keep saying it's NFTs.
Well,
and he
every
goes,
inscription
don't say the
requires
N-word."
an ordinal, right?
That's right.
Oh my God.
Can we talk? This has been great, guys. I've really enjoyed this conversation so far. Can we talk about the Q1 that NVK just launched?
Is it a BlackBerry or is it a graphing calculator?
It's what is it? I don't know. One of the two. Maybe none, because I don't want to get in trouble.
Why don't you have like a red dot on it?
A red dot?
Yeah, like
so
attach it to a gun. Or
Like a Hollow Sun
I
or
mean,
a Trigicon
I
RMR?
think TI made one. Ty made one M4 mount for our cold card.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Tai Kawamoto.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Texas Instruments.
Somebody made a sleeve for that. I always call him Ti. I don't know why. Got stuck in my head.
Oh, I'm gonna start
He made
calling
the
them
renders
Texas
for Q1.
So we have BTC Pins in the chat asking, where do you shoot the Q1? Where are the secure elements located?
It's gonna be right now. We have them like near the screen again. I
Definitely take the batteries out before you do that.
that's probably good. But alkalines don't explode.
You heard it here first. You're
But you
guaranteed.
should definitely take the batteries out. Actually, you shouldn't shoot anything. Okay, you should just use a drill with a proper eye and hand protection.
I'm pretty excited about the Q1. It's
It's
like it's
cool.
my dream. It's my dream piece of Bitcoin hardware.
You guys seen the pictures, right?
Oh yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, I want to be able to type passphrases fast and like,
NVK put a bunch of things on that device that he's told me for years he was never going to do
you know why, right?
because I kept badgering you.
Brain
Well, there is
plasticity.
that too. I mean, the more people push me, the more I go the other direction, right?
Yeah, so you put the keyboard, so we have to type out the addresses manually, right?
That's right. We're gonna KYC every transaction, so you have to type in your address. That's why it's there.
It needs a face scan.
Travel
Yeah.
rule.
The travel rule.
It's got
No,
a
but like
text editor.
sorry,
Got a text editor.
that's right. It's gonna be VI. Yeah.
Are you gonna put the Microsoft paperclip in there to like help you fill your
Ooh,
addresses?
that's right. Hey, you need more entropy, sir. That'd be pretty cool, actually. And like a little dog or something comes out. Your entropy's not enough.
Looks like you're trying to not lose your Bitcoin.
That's right. The QR scanner is cool. Those modules used to be very expensive, and we didn't want to do the normal camera stuff going through the MCU because you can definitely get owned like that.
The connection between the camera.
Yeah,
and the
so
chip.
so the way most wallets are doing is they have a camera that just shoots that raw video data straight into the MCU, which is the main processor. And the main processor is just like in memory has your private keys, and then in memory now has all this like random data just came in, right? So you could totally try some like a buffer overflow kind of type of thing, and you still got to retrieve the data. And
So
stuff.
what do you do instead?
Yes, we use a QR scanner module that does all the QR scanning sort of thinking outside.
I got it. It's like has its own chip. That's
Yeah, it's kind of like a supermarket, right?
Yeah.
Like
And then it just pipes over an
Cereal.
address. Cereal.
yeah, cereal.
Does it like validate that it's like some valid?
No,
address
like
first?
not exactly. No, it's gonna just
so it's
shoot.
still sending a string over.
It's gonna shoot a string over, but it's a massive different space, right? Like and it's sanitized text too, right? So
Can I sweep a Sats card just with the Q1?
no, because the cold card doesn't know the transaction, doesn't know the UTXO set, right? So you can't do.
You need an
generate
internet connected. No,
You can't figure
Is-
out transactions.
What if I had
isn't
a,
it just a regular address? Like the Open Dime didn't need internet to sweep, right?
Yeah,
what,
it
what if
does.
I
Like-
did?
Oh,
have
the sweep device
the
needs
sweep
it.
these? Yeah, exactly.
What if I did have like a full node and the UTXO set on a 1 terabyte micro SD?
Yeah, I mean, we would have to be running core or something like in the indexing. Like so
It's too many
originally we
functions.
wanted to make this thing called TX Signer, which was like essentially a code node for you to build transactions.
Yeah, do that.
And then we were going to do deltas of level DB.
Don't be a pussy.
That's right. Deltas of level DB to bring in via SneakerNet the UTXOs that came over, just the index, right? But like people are not gonna pay what it's gonna cost to make that device. It's not gonna be economically viable. It's gonna be like
So above,
The
like
Q1
over
super
under
cheap.
block
the
clock.
Q1 is only
OG.
$200 at least for now.
Well, if you made that over or under the OG block clock.
Oh, definitely under.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't regret not buying that. I'm like close sometimes, but
yeah.
it was like 2 Bitcoin at the time.
One.
It was like $7,000 at 3,500.
No, it was
Bitcoin.
I thought it was
$5
like
grand,
1.5.
one Bitcoin.
I thought it was like 1.5.
One Bitcoin, $5 grand when
D-
it launched. I know
When
because
it
it was the
launched,
whole point.
you
It
put
was
the
the
asterisk.
anniversary of 10 years of Bitcoin. And
It was the sexiest piece of Bitcoin.
It
audio.
was. Wait,
I almost FOMO bought it so many
Can
times,
you-
but
can
I
you
think I'm still
explain-
good with the decision.
Can you explain those dials? Like we were having dinner and you were talking about like it's like train station or something.
Yeah, so there's this one last factory that makes train station digits. In Europe, like all the train stations have this like the digits that either spin or turn like the ones we have. And there's just one factory left in the world in Poland that makes those digits. And those are the digits. We commissioned them to make like a huge batch for us, and they're rated for 100 million cycles.
Jeez.
Anyways,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah.
So that's why we can't have the OG block clocks anymore.
Yeah, that and a bunch of other shit. That project's complicated.
We have Rugged again in the chat asking if the Q1 can survive a hot sauna.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't bring the batteries in. And this actually, the screen might not like it. It's not a scenario that we sort of like
Sauna
like
test?
we don't make that claim. We don't make sauna claims. Yeah, keep your device code.
Noted.
Does it survive in the freezer?
It's not ideal for
Good
the spring,
follow-up.
but kind of, yeah. I mean, make sure
like a middle ground temperature. You're kind of
the
targeting.
problem. Oh, so the problem with temperature changes, especially on the cold side, is that you could have a little bit of moisture under a chip, and then once that like expands, right, because it freezes, it could actually pop the chip up a little bit and just enough to break a soldering. So yeah. That's why it's nicer to use lead paste, which is not allowed anymore in North America. But like the army is allowed to use lead solder paste.
Yeah,
'Cause
they
lead is
also
more
like dip
flexible.
the tank rounds in uranium.
Yeah, I mean, but that's depleted, and they do it because it sharpens itself when it penetrates things. Kind of cool.
Yeah, we need a cold card with that feature.
That's right. It's gonna be heavy. That's a very heavy metal.
What's the TTP on the new Q1?
I mean, it's sexy.
Cursory shill. If you don't want to give NVK your mailing address, you can now pick up CoinKite products at Bitcoin Park. We're starting with the cold card MK4 and the tap signer.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty excited about it. Just ship to you guys and you guys do the selling.
It's an honor and a privilege.
It's the first people ever that we ever try to do physical sales. So it's not in our custody.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now it's in my custody.
So therefore, Matt.
If the money disappears, it's Matt's fault now.
Yeah, Matt and
One
Ron
of
are the
two.
spooks.
One of two. No, the cool part about the cold card is that it's extremely hard to tamper, even if you have physical
the
access.
bag, the cereal.
If I was selling, a non-secure element one, that'd be a whole different story.
They will all be pound. All be owned. But it doesn't take much for somebody to go to Best Buy, buy every ledger there is, which is a very secure device, right? And then load them all with seeds. Right? Literally just dog.
Yeah, that's what they're doing on eBay.
Right? And then go and put them all back on the shelf.
Yeah, because people just get it and they just start using it and they just don't even think about it.
I mean,
they were doing that on Amazon and eBay and shit.
We're just lucky that our users are a little bit more on the sort of
a little more advanced,
a little bit more advanced side.
It was weird.
They're at least putting more care into it, right?
So-
Because it's cold card is easier to use than people think it is. I would say, but
yeah, definitely.
We were doing this workshop, me and Rich for Blockstream, the Jade, and we had to explain at the beginning. It's don't ever do this. Get a Jade device or whatever device that someone gave you and opened and charged. And
that's exactly
don't ever
setting
do
that
this.
up. I was like, you literally are just making all these useless before the workshop.
Yeah, but that device is pretty cheap to make. It's a package called M5 Stack.
Yep.
The M5 stack's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun for games and feeding chickens and things like that.
Is that what
Pollo feed?
Pollo feed?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know if they might use a Raspberry Pi. No,
I can't believe that guy convinced us to feed his chickens for all these years.
Everyone is a scammer,
That's
man.
my favorite thing. I swear, that's my favorite Bitcoin application.
I want to see an audit or a 10K of how that Pollo feed performed. It's probably killing it because I know everyone goes on there and feeds it. That's
their
the
gift
first thing you
cards.
do.
We sell their vouchers on TVC.
Really? Amazing.
Actually, at Visa, that for some reason the head of crypto or whatever at Visa loved Pollo feed, so he would go into all these executive board meetings. The CEO of Visa would be we'd show him feeding chickens on the Lightning Network, and that's what made it click for a lot of people. I mean, they still want their NFT shit.
There's a new one too, Lightning Cats.
Is there?
Yeah, that one's pretty good as well.
What, you feed cats?
Lightning Cats.
Oh, you feed cats?
feed cats. Yeah, I think you do.
That's not as fun.
What do you feed them?
I don't know. I didn't see the cats there when I
Catnip.
went onto it, so
Catnip would be fun.
Oh,
Just go crazy.
Take it back.
Right? I mean, probably nostr is the biggest application of Lightning right now. I mean, the amount of what they broke.
At least custodial Lightning.
Yeah, I know I use Breeze all the time there.
To pay invoices.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how are they receiving it?
Yeah, I think there are also a lot of people are using Breeze there.
Does
It's all all Satoshi. It seems like.
Does Breeze doesn't give you a Lightning address?
No, you can just put an invoice. It works already on Damas. any lightning voice gets.
Oh no, yeah, that's for like individual posts, but like the people that have it in their profile is
Oh,
LNURL,
That's Albi.
which
A
is
lot of people, my guide, which is a lot of people that follow. He was on out with 2 Albi, which
yeah, but
is
just to bring us back full circle,
Yeah,
the
back to
majority of
custodial.
people that are
Custodial.
receiving on nostr are using custodial lightning wallets.
Well,
That's okay.
but the there was kind of like this very it felt kind of like a viral moment of just like people realize it's kind of like like a lightning torch 2.0. It was like people realize like if you post invoice,
Someone will pay it.
someone will pay. It's just like
Hopefully, someone like
I'll
Fat
try.
Fingers it too.
Tony just shook his head about the lightning torch, and
I think there's already a 2.0, so that'd be 3.
What was 2.0?
I thought there was a lightning torch.
It was like a year later. Someone
a
tried to
bunch of
You get
recreate it.
someone sued, man. You better shut the hell up.
Get the right point oh.
And there was,
The toddle nods too. Like
I mean, even like I'm using it's not like fully custodial lightning address on. I mean, it is, it is.
It's fully,
But
fully.
so
custodial.
what Geyser.fund does is they give me a lightning address, and then as soon as it receives a payment, they take their fee and then they forward it to my real node. So it's momentarily custodial, but I don't
just
have to worry
enough for
about
them to
withdrawals.
take a cut.
Yeah. But it's
So why don't you run like why don't you have your own lightning address?
someone stole his node.
because I mean I've just been
Was
waiting
it
for
Tony?
I'm just humbly waiting for Bolt 12. I just like I could
Oh,
take
the-
this minimal custodial
It's
risk
gonna
right
take-
now.
It's gonna take a very, very long time.
UTC Pay Server.
You know
has-
what?
Never say never.
Don't
got-
believe the 2 weeks.
I
Never
would
believe
I
the
would
2
love
weeks.
I would love if we put in keysend like podcasting 2.0 where I could just post my public key in there. Like why do I even need to put a lightning address? It should just be the pub key in my node. I already have it.
No, but it's nice to have like an address that's like canonical for humans, right? Like so, like nvk.nvk.org. Like, it's great.
Yeah, but it's already on my nostr account, which is already canonical.
By the way, the other problem that we have with this whole DNS thing for this kind of addressing is that everybody thinks it's email. Like I'm getting so much email on that.
Yeah, the trick is you don't attach it to an email and you just let it just die out in the.
Use nvk.gay,
Yeah, I
You know
will.
what I mean?
Who has that? Do you have that, Tony?
I do.
No, man.
Ben has
You guys
it.
got to explain this thread. That was
You should sell that for like
hilarious.
10 Q1s. Should we do a deal right
Oh.
here?
I'll make a trade.
Yeah, there you go. I'll trade you Pickle Tony.
Oh yeah.
Dot,
You actually buy that today?
no, I haven't had a chance. Yet.
The gay
Not my-
TLD is ridiculous. Like they are making millions of dollars on just troll.
The worst is
websites.
name
It's-
cheap gets you in for $3 the first year and then $30 the next year. So they're like,
Mine are coming up.
Oh, the worst-
It's
I
because
live by
it's
her.
Ben has Vivek.soy or something or
Yeah.
Vivek.gay.
Wait, no, wait, to be-
What sucks is the major rep pool. They increase prices sometimes by a lot when it's like a premium.
Yeah, to be clear, that's not name cheap. That's the TLD owner. Like you spend like $500,000 to $1 million.
GTLD.
Yeah, to get the end,
Yeah, GTLDs.
and then once you get that end, you can charge whatever the fuck you want for the end.
Yeah.
but I
So
think
like
It used to
the
be just 100K to get.
like the country of Tuvalu, like
What
the
is it?
majority of their GDP is .tv, but it's just supposed to be their country. But countries don't have to pay for theirs because they just get it for being existent.
So how much land do you need to be a country?
Yeah.
It's like some land domain arb we're
Yeah,
doing. Like
I do remember it used to
I
be
mean, if
more.
Portugal can be a country or the Vatican, you're good, man.
yeah, that's true.
and Ghislaine Maxwell's trying to make her own country in the sea.
She is.
Maybe.
that always ends well. You watch Waterworld?
Wait, isn't she's in jail? Isn't she?
Yeah, she was.
She got out.
No, she was trying to make the country. She's
I
in
thought
jail
she
right
had.
now.
Didn't she have a house in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
She hasn't been suicided?
No.
Didn't they? I saw somewhere like they figured out Epstein took like sodium something like nitrate or something like that to suicide. I don't know if it was real.
Yeah,
the
he
information
definitely
was.
he definitely did that to himself.
Yeah.
Watch your phone with the.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I think she said in court, like, I don't think he killed himself, which is
It's the
yeah.
Super hot take.
The bottom.
Super hot take.
We shouldn't go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah,
No, no one wants
we
to.
can't say any more than that. Otherwise, I worry for.
I don't
our
wanna kill
safety.
myself.
Everyone's happy, healthy.
What else?
What
else?
Chickcoin.gay. I'm trying to figure out where to
We're
point
good,
that.
We're complying.
What we had a fantastic bit devs. We had a fantastic bit devs on Tuesday here, and you knew it was a good bit devs because I didn't understand 50% of it. Like, let's talk about something that was interesting there. What piqued your interest there?
what piqued my interest is as you can tell from all the podcasts being recorded, majority of the Spiral team was here. They're doing fantastic work on Taproot related lightning innovations. L&D is leading the charge, but they're implementing a lot of the really other cool stuff regarding music too. So they're doing what's unadvised, rolling their own crypto, but just to test interoperability, things like that. I think the Frost stuff is going to be very interesting because then you can split one of the keys of your channel like on that side to be like potentially a hardware wallet or something like that. And then Spiral's also given verified lightning signer a grant, just like a Core Lightning. We're also working with them, so the whole space is getting further and further, and it seems that now we're back at the point where we have to figure out how we announce these Taproot channels and the gossip aspects. And I guess maybe Tony or Ben can touch on it a bit more. And I know people are thinking about like Starks and other potential like ZK proofs for these too. So that whole convo was over my head, but fantastic.
And I think no one's figured out the gossip stuff, but I thought it was really interesting, like hearing, I guess we can't say who, but some of the Spiral folks were like talking about like you could do Taproot channels like the dumb way, or quote unquote dumb way, of like just doing like normal music, but they're trying to get it so you could have like a multi-sig lightning node that still works with your lightning channel and stuff, and like it's all these nonce problems that's hard, but like they're actually trying to solve it instead of just like
A multi-sig lightning node would be dope.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was joking with Matt last night, like you
Not
have a
Nick
geographically distributed lightning node, like one key's in Australia, one key's in America, one key's in like Asia. The latency would be terrible, but
I was about to say that's horrible.
Interactivity, all
Yeah.
those rounds.
Yeah, over Tor.
One interesting
Over
conversation
yeah, right.
that like almost happened that I wish it dug deeper in is somebody from BDK asked somebody from LDK if like well are you guys doing this in miniscript, and they're not doing it in miniscript, but it would be really interesting if you had this new type of channel in miniscript, because it wouldn't just be something special, a special snowflake that only node implementations understand. It would be a standardized thing that anything understands miniscript could be watching this address.
It's actually like a really stupid thing that I think they're doing. Like I've been following the thread on the pull request for the spec, and it's like there's like the current way they have it written is like one weight unit larger, just because it's more readable. It's like, but you could do it the miniscript way. It's smaller on chain, and like like works with like BDK and stuff, but it's less readable, so they don't want to do it. But I don't know.
Why don't you submit a pull request?
It already is a pull request, but yeah, there's a ton of there's a ton of comments like debating it. So I mean, maybe I should add
The
my
Ack and Knack wars.
Add another project.
yeah. But no, it is interesting.
And it was interesting also them talking about PTLCs and how like figuring that out. Like it's one thing to have just like our Schnorr aggregation stuff and like whatever nested stuff for the Frost, but then to do PTLCs like per hop, that seems like a ways out.
Like getting Taproot channels first, getting gossip to work with Taproot channels. I was talking to someone else that night about the idea of rapid gossip sync, being able to put Taproot channels that wouldn't work on the gossip, but put them in rapid gossip sync, because you don't need the signatures or other validation. So it's like, we could have unannounced channels, and which Taproot channels in the first iteration will be that. And kind of do that. But I think like one of the most interesting things to kind of see all at once in the same space is seeing like, all these, really advanced hardcore devs, but they're also, they specialize in different aspects of LDK and BDK as well. And, there's a lot of spillover, but it's just really cool to see like, async payments getting developed by like, one or two.
Yeah, we talked about that with Val
devs.
yesterday.
Yeah. I need to go back and listen to that podcast, but it's just like so many different members of the team work on some of the most critical cool stuff that we're all take advantage of soon. So that's kind of the cool part, to see that all happen at once.
They're way farther along than I realized.
Yeah, that mailing list post that they had kind of like triggered like, hey, we're close, but we need to think through these like little problems. That's just like kind of the cool thing of like with LDK, they don't have to solve the entire problem of making it work with the applications. That's the developer's job to make it work with the applications. If it was L&D, they have to get the protocol support to work, and then they have to integrate it in L&D as like a
It's a
full
consumer app,
machine.
basically.
Yeah, and then then it's just like a few cryptography devs that are working on the L&D part, and then the rest of the team is like supporting all kinds of other things around L&D. So
It's
that's
pretty much Lalu holding it down.
I
like
didn't want to
with
didn't want to
BTCE.
say just that, but I mean Oliver and a lot of other good people
Yeah.
working there as well.
But like for the crypto side,
Yeah.
Lalu's like rolled up his sleeves and really.
Ollie
put
does
work
some
in.
of it too, though.
Who?
Ollie,
Oh, okay.
Oliver. But yeah.
I mean, you've been building Mutiny off of LDK, BDK.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like we're building off the backs of giants, really, where it's like we do have to implement a lot of things ourselves, but at least we're the developers that like know how to do Lightning already, know how to do Bitcoin already, and we can kind of take all the advanced stuff that BDK and LDK is doing, and tweak it to our own application, like BDK Core. They had the original BDK, and now they're making BDK Core. I think they're calling it something else now.
BDK chain.
BDK chain,
Yeah.
but just allowing developers, to do even more than they had access to before. They made BDK to be really easy for developers, but now we're kind of coming in as like advanced devs, and we interface with LDK a lot, BDK a lot of like, okay, this is really cool. We want to do this very specific hardcore thing. Like, how can we do that? And they're constantly iterating on ways that like developers can do the advanced things without them having to worry about. They just kind of have to like let us have exposure to some of those things. So, the two teams itself are just like, the great people, really smart people. They get to kind of build on the tools, which, that's kind of their happy place too. They love that shit. They love building on tools and also enabling other developers to kind of build off of their stuff. So like, that's their happy place. And then we always come in as our happy place of like, okay, well, we love, building Bitcoin applications. So like, let's take the amazing tools and kind of do the amazing stuff on our side. So
Yeah, I really love it. Like, I feel like, and I'm not Matt Corallo. I'm not gonna be able to invent Lightning or do any of the fancy stuff there. But I also still know a fair bit about Bitcoin, and like, if you're building on top of these other things, like some of it's like things I want to do, but like, I need to make a PR into LND or something, which I'm not doing. But with BDK and LDK, like I can actually do most of the things, if not all of the things like I want to do that I know are possible, just because like it's a library, so it enables us to do like all those really fancy things.
yeah, and if you try to get a PR merge into LND, like LND can be used as a library, right? But it's mostly a node application, their node application. So it's like we saw Breeze just get fed up with LND and trying to merge pull requests into LND because they're like, no, this isn't safe for the node, or we don't want to do it in this way. And then their PRs go nowhere. They end up running a fork of LND that's like at some very old version.
Same with Moon.
Yeah, same with Moon. Same with a lot of people that fork LND. They're at like some insecure 0.10 version.
Pre-Barack attack.
Yeah, pre-Barack attack.
Well, I mean, didn't they have to update past Barack?
I don't. If their clients weren't syncing the chain, I don't think they had.
Is there some concerted sort of like effort to just have like an actual fork?
A community fork of LND?
Yeah, but like
I brought that up
with
before.
proper sort of like people maintaining it, and you know,
the thing is, the only people that can maintain it are Lightning Labs employees. Like, it's such a huge project. It's like hard to find anyone else that could maintain it.
And because of the BTCD dependencies, like Lalu's like the man, like all the crypto stuff. Like, there's just few people as good as him with Go libraries and that crypto.
And like the only major L&D contributor that's not at Lightning Labs is Carla, and yeah, and she's just a former Lightning Labs employee, and so it's like kind of a hard problem.
I do believe Breeze is not on the super old fork now, because what the one blocker feature that they were looking for is in L&D now. So
well, Breeze is on Greenlight now,
so that's nice. But yeah, they're also on Greenlight now.
Everyone's hedging after the bugs. It's good to have like.
How about Sea Lightning? No. It's C.
I mean, it's fun until you have to build on it, and you realize it's not as fun as you thought it would be.
What, Core Lightning?
Core Lightning. I mean, like we like
I prefer the old name,
right. Like I'm at Voltage right now, and we're building an LSP project on top of CLN. As you know, we kind of looked at the landscape, saw what we could do. There's some protocols. Splicing itself is just huge for LSPs. So it was like, okay, it made sense to like do that. And then now we're going, we did a proof of concept and we're like, oh, okay, that was easy. Let's keep going down the route of building on CLN and like all the edge cases, all the things that we had to commit into the repo to kind of get it to work. No, to be fair, we're on the bleeding edge of like some of the tech that they're doing. So like, and they've been really responsive and had a lot of calls to like get it to work. But in general, like the developer ecosystem was just miles beyond and like L&D is just miles beyond CLN as far as developer experience. So like as much as we all love to hate on L&D sometimes, it's just the best developer experience by far. Until you want to do advanced shit, and then
that's why Mutiny you're doing LDK.
Yeah, and build it all yourself. So then you only have yourself to blame. Like, oh, why doesn't this work? Oh, well, I coded that up. So that's my.
Well, I also see like there's a growth of like Zoomers or people generally wanting to learn Rust. I'm starting to learn Rust. I think LDK and BDK are riding that wave, and it's really working out for them.
Yeah, it's just the better language to.
I really hope that Rust takes all the JavaScript developers and then JavaScript dies. That's the hope.
It just becomes TypeScript bindings.
That's
when
right.
are you gonna rewrite all your shitty
Coldcard.
Python in Rust?
I mean, it's like you don't know my shop. Like literally never. We would go to C or assembly before we go to Rust.
Really?
I mean, a lot of coldcard is C.
Yeah, but like embedded
assembly too. We wrote some assembly.
The embedded ecosystem seems to just really like Rust.
Yeah,
No,
the hobby.
Yeah,
the hobby.
Exactly. The tinkerers, but like the OGs, like they're still C wizards.
Real men do it in C or assembly.
If this can't be memory unsaved, I don't even want to be part of it.
There is no memory safety when you're talking about embedded, man. That's all an illusion.
Oh, there's like
There's just
a
dependency choices, right?
There is no dependencies either because there's no room.
there's like
It
this,
is mostly implementing yourself.
there's like this like semi-famous story of someone was like they like joined a job and they're like it was like a missile embedded chip and they're like this thing has a huge memory leak, we got to fix this, and they're like we don't need to fix that, it's gonna blow up at the end, like
Ultimate garbage.
That's right, the ultimate garbage collection.
they just like doubled the size of the memory, like we're good, like yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much sums up the work at CoinKite.
They're gonna shoot it with a gun.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Listen, it's like, yeah, I mean, that session only needs to last so long. No, I'm kidding. No, it's somebody tested the 28 days countdown to log into coldcard, so we know that the survival.
I have one stuck in it.
There you go. So
It was
if
like
you
a
actually,
test cold card.
if you leave it running, you actually not crash.
I've never made it because like the power goes out or like
that's a different. Put in a power.
I unplug it or I get
because guys are using it as HSMs, right? So like they actually have it connected to servers. Oh shit, this is new. I don't know if we released.
It was a
this.
test cold card, so I just gave up. Like I didn't need
Alpha
access.
You can unlock Galley now on FreeBSD with a cold card, so you can have Galley.
I don't know what Galley is.
Oh, that's like the real deal disk encryption. Like this is where you want to be if you want to do disk encryption. So you can use a cold card to unlock the disk encryption on boot of FreeBSD using Galley. We released a video. I thought the video was already out, but
What is that protocol? Are you signing something? Or
yeah, you're providing the keys.
So
like
your cold
there's, like, a
card gives it a
challenge?
key, or
Yeah.
So there's a CK bunker with that.
No.
Oh, it's not even CK
Just
bunker.
direct, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is because like for example, we have like some sensitive machines that program things and whatever, right? Like industrial stuff, and we're like, we don't trust any shit to the manufacturers like give you for securing the machines. We're like, nope, everything is on cold card standard here. And we replace all the Windows boxes that come with these industrial machines with FreeBSD. So that's a lot of fun.
It's pretty crazy. That's like $200 HSM.
Yeah, it's 150 really.
Yeah, I rounded up within.
It's a lot of.
The Q1 is $200.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'm still like wondering when we can finally get, or when someone finally does the effort and try to get like the cold card HSM stuff to work with Lightning. Like I think that would be really cool.
It's
I've been waiting for
it's
this
it's a
too.
project, man.
Mhm.
Like
it's
I mean,
theoretically possible.
yeah.
It's just like someone has to build it, right?
yeah, I mean, like maybe you guys
Like-
could, like
CK Bunker on Mutiny. It's
rebuild-
coming 2 years.
Well,
TM.
if you use Rust, you could integrate with industry.
I can't hear you. My
Which
earphone
being
is not
written-
working.
With being written with embedded targeting in mind.
We'll get the Rust bindings to the C or the MicroPython. We'll figure it out. We'll
That's
make
right.
it happen.
No, ideally, what you would do is you would re-implement LDK as a cold card, right? Because he needs to understand. Because the difference between standard Bitcoin stuff and Lightning stuff is that the HSM and Lightning, it's all about the policies, but the policies understand Lightning, right? So you have to have the full stack in there, which it's doable. It's just
Or
a
like
project.
VLS style.
Yeah.
It would be more realistic that VLS
Yeah.
take their policies and
Yeah.
something that
Try
goes
to
with
stick
HSM.
it into the
Mark IV.
the simulator.
Oh, similar.
Yeah, just go to the simulator and try to stick it in there. See if you can make it like just talk.
Okay. Yeah, I've looked at it once before. Like I had no idea how to interact with it, so I was like, okay, I'm leaving. But I need to one day. Like it seems really cool to be able to use it as an HSM.
I always wanted that. It's
Yeah.
just it's completely out of scope for like our priorities. So that's why it's so hard. I mean, it's like a
Right.
major project,
Mhm.
and like we just don't have the cycles.
Even
to
in
do it.
just the naive like blind signing will be cool to see if it's possible.
Well, that's already possible because you could do
Right.
message digest signing, like in ACDSA. So like it's fine. Like you could do that now if you wanted to, but
Right,
I don't
right.
see the point. Like
Yeah. Just an experiment. Just
Yeah.
back on it.
you could definitely do. I'd love to see somebody stick, like LDK or something like that in there.
2 weeks.
Cool. 2 weeks.
Okay, Mutiny. You guys heard it here. Mutiny.
Mutiny CK
well,
Bunker.
It's
In
a
your
shame
web
'cause, like,
browser, mobile Safari.
we all schedule things terribly. There's like an Austin Sats card hackathon or NFC hackathon going on right now.
Really?
Yeah, in Austin.
It's just NFC. It's not
It's
stats
it's
card.
like
Oh,
the
it's not
Bolt
stats card.
NFC cards, right?
I was told it's basically like they're trying to go after the Breeze tap signer or Sats card. Like
It's completely different thing. Like
Oh,
the Bolt card is like essentially like just like a hotel card, right? There's no securing. It's just like it's just an LNURL in there.
The Tap
Right.
Signer runs native Bitcoin script, right?
Yeah, so like we re-implemented
Fucking
the
crazy.
Bitcoin stack, so that Sats card tap signer can essentially do Bitcoin message digest signing
Hmm.
inside.
okay.
So I can't just clone it on my Flipper Zero
You
like
can't
Bolt's
clone it.
card.
Doesn't know. Yeah, you can see. That's the thing. The Bolt's card, because it's kind of like a hotel.
We've done it. Me and H-Ow were screwing around with
But you
Jonas
can't do that with
Nick
the
at-
Tap Signer.
No, you can't do the tap.
Well, me and H-Ow were screwing around with Jonas Nick, and H-Ow was like trying to use his phone to replicate that because we were trying to buy a beer with like the.
Oh, listen, we've
Bolt card.
advanced, like very advanced ways of cloning like a SD, like NFC cards. You can probably do it, right? It's just there's a limit to the security of a card that costs that much, right? But it's a completely different thing. Like Bolt is like this sort of like very clever way of having a linear on an NFC card. It's still security, and that just points to their centralized stuff,
Web server,
right?
yeah.
And they kind of do program it to be like one-time use.
Yeah.
So
But you
do
could
have to,
point
like,
it to Albi.
program it. I think you can. Yeah. People
Yeah.
are
You definitely can, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you-
No, but I can load any card with like I
Yeah.
can load the.
I'm just
Bitcoin
saying that
card.
second part where you were like,
Oh.
and then it points to their
Their
centralized.
stuff,
You can
yeah.
point to someone else's
You can point
centralized.
to your own.
stack if
You can
want.
point to your own
Your
web
own
server if you wanted it.
centralized,
Yeah.
Yeah, some people do that. I mean, I saw that all in Amsterdam. A lot of people just
I
reprogram
should
the Bolt
just
cards
load
to
my
their own.
cards with my LN URL.
Well, but then everyone would. Oh yeah, your own personal ones. I thought
Yeah.
the
My
ones you
personal
give
one
out,
on my
there you go.
personalized card. I mean, you've seen my sets card of my dots
Yeah.
that are my ordinal. I'm trying to really have a brand, a consistent brand.
Your inscription.
That's right.
Yeah.
My
Get it right.
God damn, it's that boat has sailed. Everybody's gonna call inscriptions ordinals.
Well, he owns the domain for that too. You look him up on ordinals.com, right?
Yeah.
So there you
that's
go.
his own fault there. Yeah.
Well, I was always confused because ordinals is actually some other number theory shit too.
It's like a
right?
math thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
People
thought
in
that was
astrology use ordinals.
Casey first
I'm
told
not
me about ordinals like a year ago, and I was just like, hopefully, I just don't have to ever know what this is. And then he just
Here we
kept
are.
pushing, kept
That's
pushing.
right. I heard it a while back, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on.
I told him last night. I distilled my feeling toward this. I'm proudly mad.
It is like brilliant. Like no state actor has been able to put dick butts on Bitcoin. Like, and then this dude comes out of nowhere.
I'm not even mad that they
Boom.
exist. I'm just mad that it's like something that's being
I'm just
discussed. Like
mad.
it's something I have to think about.
I'm just mad because at TabConf, right after the Barack bug, we were all talking about we were going to put Sahil's face on the blockchain.
Yeah.
No way. Like put a 4 megabyte picture of Sahil.
Do you have that
You
picture?
can fork ordinals and use the octal system to do the filtering. So now you're competing for the
It's a different algo, yeah, for the
but
sat.
with a different algo.
Yeah.
To
No,
point
but now there's like
different-
a mythology around it and
I know,
stuff,
that's
right?
the funny thing. You get the octal. The octal stuff also has mythology.
That's why no one else could pull this
idea.
off besides Casey.
So he's talking about like the sat ordering or whatever. You can have a different algo instead of like the first one. Like you do like the middle out or like whatever. Yeah, you just like fuck around.
I mean, the middle out would have been very appropriate.
That would have been great.
Someone's got to send me that Sahil picture again. I think I lost
You
it.
took it.
I know, but it was on my old phone.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
It's so good. Oh my god.
Is there
Yeah, I'm
people
so glad we have the
listening to
Bens on this show. We have a lot of people in the audience right now, and the chat is very active.
I apologize for.
We'll
the lack of
post
signal.
we'll post the Sahil. Yeah.
No,
I think
we're
Sahil's messaging me now. Actually,
we're going in waves and frequencies. You know, a lot of signal, then a lot of noise, and a lot of signal.
Yeah, what next?
That's kind of how my brain is right now after 3 days of being here.
I was listening to some of the pod with Jeff and Val
Yesterday.
Yeah, and is it Cash App wants Bolt 12? Like Cash App's pushing on them for Bolt 12?
Cash App does not have Lightning address support and would like to add Bolt 12. Yeah.
Jeff's been working on Bolt 12 for
So
a
there is
while
a
now.
chance that we get Bolt 12
And-
before the next halving.
And same with Strike.
Yeah.
Strike too, nice. And hats off to Carla. She's at Chain Code now, supposedly hacking on that too for the LND code base.
Can we do instead of onion messages? Can we just use nostr for Bolt 12?
I will not step or open that can of worms.
I think we can just
I'd say nostr all the things, but I think onion messaging probably makes more sense.
There's this onion message FUD still about like rate limits, and I just
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
What?
Like having like the fact that you get some rate limiting.
No, there is no rate limit.
Well,
yet.
but there
but there
is
will be,
because it's
yeah.
just inefficient.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the same reason why you don't need Cloudflare if you use onion addresses. It's just so slow. Nobody can DDoS you on Tor.
They could just DOS the entire Tor network and take it
That's
down.
right.
Yeah, I'm really curious what that latency would be like in the payments. Like how much time is that going to be if you have like a multi-hop route and you want that Visa experience for payments. Like how much more time is a Bolt 12, sending messages back and forth to like, hey, get me an invoice, and it comes back. And
It kind of already feels like that. I mean, like even when you just pay a standard, like
very
Lightning invoice,
rarely instant.
it feels that way. See, like if we move from QRs to NFC payment, it would be a lot better because the camera still takes a while. You got to open the thing, point.
Yeah.
If you're just like just tapping your phone to those terminals, and it's the same spec,
and
it could be the exact same
And
data.
especially for like if you want to start putting a bunch of route hints in or a bunch of trampolines or blinded
You
stuff.
can do. It's interactive.
Yeah, so if you wanted to put something beefy in there to help the speed and success of the payment, you got to use NFC because QR codes just max out unless you start doing like animated QRs.
Yeah, I know. But
Hang out there
can
with
you
the
imagine,
stand.
like you're the cashier
Yeah.
trying to hold your phone. Can you please turn on the lights, sir?
It's not bright enough, yeah.
and then
That's
you
why
have
the
the
cold cards
flashlight
has the
on. The
flashlight,
lady's
right?
like, ah.
well, that's why the cold card has the flashlight, right?
For when you need it in
You're
the
not
club.
using that at a club, please. No, but seriously, like I want to see NFC happen, like because it's just so much better. There's a reason why that stuff leapfrogged in North America, like the chip and pin and everything else. Like you guys went straight to that here,
Mhm.
especially in the US. Like it's good and it's like fast and it's high bandwidth. So, and you can even power like the device. Anyway, there's like a bunch of things you can do.
Wait, did we leapfrog? I feel like we were stuck on the
Europe-
magnetic
Europe's
stripe.
faster.
Yeah.
No, you guys never had chip and pin in North America. It was like very brief in the US.
That's
Chip and
fair.
pin.
Yeah.
You went straight from like magnetic to tap.
They forced that though.
I
They
just got a
basically-
tap card like this month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then you also almost skipping the
Apple
cards too
Pay.
in North America, right?
Apple
Like you're
Pay,
going to
yeah.
the phone with Apple Pay and Android Pay and all that crap.
No, fuck all that. I hate that shit.
I
Don't
know.
Put that.
I prefer dumb card.
Tony's like
No.
having cash and like still coins. Like
We were working on this at Visa like 2 or 3 years ago when I
Yeah.
was there. The NFC actual like comms.
Well, I still use cash.
Yeah.
I don't use coins.
So yeah, go to your favorite wallet developer and say, please, I need NFC, sir.
Yeah, we need some NFC in the browser.
No, we don't need that. No, we don't need that at all, right? Actually, like on Android, NFC works on Chrome.
Oh yeah, it's same
it's
with
fantastic.
this. Like when you tap, you can open on the browser, right?
No, he means the opposite though.
But
Yeah.
but NFC
You can do
will
the back
actually
and forth.
scan on
It's more
Chrome.
limited. Apple lets you do a few things, if I remember right, but not much.
Okay.
Android, you can essentially have full
free reign,
own
yeah.
of the phone.
Right,
It's
right.
like
You can
root
even-
access.
program, I think.
Yeah.
on it too.
yeah.
Yes, you could have the UX. You know, the UX right now of the holding your phone over something and the URL pops up, and so then you tap that and that opens. That could be the thing that opens your Lightning wallet because like
No, you don't
obviously-
even need that because if you're using an app,
Mhm.
right now you could just open a WebSocket to your server that offer things,
Mm.
right?
But you have to. I'm talking about the. I mean, the beauty of tap to pay is you don't even unlock your phone. You like
Yeah,
double
you can
tap
do the same.
side and
That's a
tap.
permission thing, right?
So like having even the friction of having to like unlock your phone, find your Lightning app, you open
you
that
would
out
open
and
the
you
app.
pay.
Because whichever app has the URI
Mm.
set for that data type, right, that you're gonna get from the terminal,
Mm.
it's just gonna open. Because you can make, say, like your Breeze
what I'm saying,
be
yeah,
your
yeah.
default. So like once you tap, and you could have a Breeze can have a mode that's the lock phone mode, so that you would allow to certain threshold of size or whatever, right? So technically, you could do the same as Apple Pay, right? Like with Lightning, if you were using NFC.
It'd be really beautiful.
And this is already all possible if people just did it. Like it's not like there's a barrier.
If,
Well,
if
I was
a
gonna
browser wallet just did it.
Well, I was gonna ask on the barrier part specifically. Like, is this just because everyone has those Square terminals and NFC stuff there? Like, but I'm probably understanding that those are pretty closed off. Like,
I-
are we
you
gonna be
know,
able to have something open where like
I
owners
imagine-
can do that?
I imagine that if you get yourself like a sanction app in those terminals,
Okay.
you probably get access to the NFC reader, within whatever
Like
respect they have.
Strike and Clover, right? Like
Yeah,
the Strike
exactly, but
Clover.
That would be.
I'm sure there's some limits to what they're going to allow you to do, just because it was not even necessary before. But it's probably enough for you to accomplish this dance, right?
Yeah, because we almost need that first. Well, not.
It's
first,
already out
but-
there,
Okay. that
and
would-
and then there is all these terminals that are running, say like Zeus, all the Bitcoin only sort of
Right.
payment terminals.
Yeah.
They could be doing that right now. I mean, there's nothing really holding people back. Zeus now supports NFC, the new version. So like why not? I mean, let's make it happen.
I mean, they would love both sides of it, right? They'd love the merchant side where they have the POS and they take a cut there, and they'd also love to make the card that works with it that also takes the cut, like selling you the actual card or whatever, or your bank account with them. Like they want to have both and have the closed loop.
Could you have a node on the POS that is dumb and it doesn't have any knowledge, and then somehow your NFC is just a card and it signs something, and so they
Why
spin
don't
up
you
the node for you right there in the POS.
I mean, you could, but like, why
You
not
don't
just?
have to have internet connectivity.
Oh,
you
I
don't have
see.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, you could do it. You can actually use the phone's connection to. So this can be pretty crazy. So, say for example, you have the an Elanira on the other side, right? So on the terminal, right? You send the money to that because now the phone knows what ID that is, because there might be some other invoice aspects to it, right? And then your phone broadcasts that to the node that owns that terminal that is on the internet.
You like a proof of payment and then
That's
pass
right.
it to the
Yeah.
cash.
Well,
think
that
I
was really
saw
cool
that
what
with
Ben did with
Ben,
the
yeah.
PIN code and the LN URL, where you get a PIN, and by entering the PIN, the receiver can be offline and still verify that
He
they
did
got
that with like
paid.
vending machines, where the
Yeah,
vending machine could
was
be
offline. Yeah.
that was pretty cool. I mean, I know that they work on a lot of cool NFC integrations with that.
I mean, all Bitcoin like Lightning wallets will have NFC in the next sort of like year or two.
It might
I
just
mean, it's
be like-
inevitable.
You think in the next year?
Year or two, yeah, max 2 years. Like it's
I
probably be a
agree.
year.
Yeah, I'd feel comfortable with 2, but in this year, it'd
once
be
there is a
fantastic.
couple React
They'll
native
FOMO, yeah.
good.
Yeah.
No, once there's like a couple React native like good like libraries that work on both Android and iOS, like everybody's just gonna like lift that and sort of use it and just be done with it.
And Zeus is React Native, and it works pretty well in there. So it's got to be one good one.
There you go. When is on the Bitcoin company?
Well,
NTM.
it actually solves like that rare use case, and I think that's what's cool about Zeus. Was in New York, and that's when they launched like that. They finally have a way to accept Bitcoin. A Bitcoin bar is a way to accept Bitcoin, and it's only because of Lasky and the Bit license that they cannot.
But, you know, so Evan.
Wait, I mean,
can
now
accept it?
No, like before, like going through like
Or you couldn't
a
convert it.
company that can make it easy, like OpenNode or whatever.
because they want it fully integrated into their Square terminal business or whatever.
I
Right?
feel like it's because of
Yeah,
the
I mean, for
conversion
accounting
from
purposes,
Bitcoin
you want
to
all the
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
it's for all the accounting.
You
to
can
be
accept
equivalent.
Bitcoin, you just can't convert it.
Yeah.
via the exchange to fiat, which
I mean,
most merchants.
They could have done like an iPad with BTC Pay or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then it's one more thing to
Yeah,
maintain.
exactly.
Maintain,
You have
yeah.
to trust
Yeah.
the staff. It's
Does
know.
Zeus
C# ew.
Does Zeus hook
Does
up
use
to
voltage.
any exchanges and convert for you, or is
No,
it
I don't
just-
think
yeah,
so.
okay.
No.
Wait,
They are.
OpenNode, you said?
Well, I think the issue.
I think
is-
OpenNode converts. Like,
yeah,
you can
but
select.
that's the issue. Is the exchange in New York is what's regulated.
Exactly.
It's not accepting Bitcoin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Zeus is going to have
Correct.
Sats card soon.
Fuck Ben
Evan
Lasky.
is working on
Terrible Ben.
it. Because
The
if you can
Ben's-
do that, you can do any other NFC stuff.
Both Bens
Wait,
just announced
Zeus is
Ben
gonna
Lasky.
integrate Sats.
Yeah. It's coming. So you can sweep the Sats card to your wallet.
Let's go.
I like that. Yeah.
Wait,
I
can
mean,
you use Zeus without your own Lightning node, like just on chain only?
No.
No.
He's. Well,
Yeah, I mean that's what we really need.
Is there like
we
a
need an
neutrino
easy
option
wallet.
or anything like
I don't think so.
light client
No.
option?
We
It's
need,
like full node only,
You
right?
have to connect to a remote node.
but
yeah.
my point is we need an easy wallet that you can just tell when you give someone like a wedding gift and it's a Sats card, like just download this wallet and all it does is basically just sweep and then let me do an
I mean,
on-chain
what I would love to see
transaction.
is even like
That's what Nunchuck does.
these NFC cards that you give
Noted.
out that
Connects
are
to their-
basically gifts.
Yeah, it connects there. No, you can connect
and
your
you can
own.
sweep
right?
but you can sweep them. Like I would love it if like the URL was like, we're coming at it from the web angle, right? So it's like you preload a URL, maybe with some data that's like the pre-image, and then you scan that. It goes to the browser. If they don't have a Lightning node already, it pops up, and then they can like quote unquote sweep the Lightning payment into their node.
I
with a
mean,
just-in-time
your stuff
channel.
can Mutiny run on like iOS Safari?
Mhm.
It can run on an Xbox.
There you go. So I mean, you can do it. Like
Yeah.
is it ready yet?
Switch soon, TM.
The thing that like kind of sucks on our end is not being able to have that full NFC experience across all the devices.
Well, that's never gonna be like it's
Safari
always
is never going to open that up.
no. It's not that. It's like each manufacturer is gonna do
Different spec.
NFC differently. It's never gonna be the same, right? So there's always gonna be it's kind of like making a release for Android, making a release for iOS.
Right.
It's always gonna be a little different.
One's completely open, the other is like very limited in certain like reads, but you can write, or I don't know.
It's
Yeah. I mean,
state of hardware.
if we
iPhone
have
took
a
forever to
Mac-
even open up NFC capabilities.
Yeah.
They had the capability, but they just didn't let you do anything with
That's
it.
right. Well, it's they take sort of like the walled garden mom style sort of approach, right? They don't want you to do the phone like stuff that's gonna put you in harm, like
Yeah.
Well, that and they want you to use their app.
Yeah, of course. I
stores
mean,
Yeah.
of course, they're gonna take advantage of the whole.
to take the money
walled garden,
from that. So the more they open up the browser, the more their app store.
So, Matt, is that how you feel
use.
by having an Apple laptop now?
No, it's a Citadel Dispatch laptop.
The M2 is fucking insanely good.
Matt, go to the About This Mac
Yeah.
and then just look at the specs. Like that thing is tiny. It's freaking magnificent.
I don't use it for anything secure, but
I know,
it's a
but
game
just
changer.
like if you can have like a terabyte or whatever, 40 gigabytes, and them too,
and like
on
it actually
that.
has battery life. Like the battery life is fucking fire.
It's like days.
Does Marty know you have an Apple product?
Of course he knows.
Okay.
Well, I
So,
mean,
For a
he's
while
seen it.
there,
Matt
he
is
was like,
moving
"Of course
to iOS
It's-
phone. Is it to an
It's
iPhone?
it's
soon?
been on the stream. It's been on the stream in the past.
so
But
NVK,
yeah, there's no way I'm moving to an iPhone. I just the side loading
Same
it.
experience that
No,
you have
but
here,
side
but on the
loading it-
phone.
No, but the difference is-
everything is fast.
Matt
It's
likes his
great.
APKs though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I was like. You can at least side load something very easily on a Mac.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that it's even
No,
considered
but you can
side
have
loading.
two phones, right? Like
Like,
I
you're
have
not
a
stuck in the
Pixel
App Store.
phone and I have an iOS phone.
How many side-loaded apps do you have?
All the ones that take
I'm
the
not,
money.
I don't have Play Store.
Oh, you're like, okay, I see.
Like F-Droid?
Yeah, but sometimes like you also have to just like download from
Yeah,
a sketchy ass
yeah,
website.
So this is the problem, right? Like,
But it's my freedom to do
100%,
that.
yeah,
I verified the Shawsums.
It is your freedom to lose your money and your
Do
identity.
you guys think in like the next few years, like Apple will, from some like monopoly pressures or
Yes,
whatever,
it's gonna
open
happen.
up-
They already got sued.
It's
for
gonna
it.
happen.
Yeah.
Because like it's what they would do is kind of what they did on the Mac. That like this is one very cool thing that Macs have, right? It's part of OS X Deep, is that all packages, like all software that comes in, it checks the signature before it runs, right? So because people are idiots. Like I mean, they download shit and then like boom, money gone, like Windows, right? And this is not
money
for
gone.
The only problem with the way Apple has done this is they make like I can download Chrome, right? You download Chrome from Google's website,
Yeah.
double click that icon, and Apple shows you a pop up. It's
Yeah.
like, we don't know who this is. It's
Yeah.
probably
This is a
virus."
third-party
I mean,
developer.
technically, Google and Chrome is a virus, right?
Right,
It's
so,
gonna
like-
steal all your private information
Right,
and
that's
send it to
true. Hey,
Google.
I made a bad example. Yeah, correct. But like that's the same message. Like if I just downloaded virus dot
But
bit.
that's
Virus.gov.
But what if you went to Google where like it's like Google with one extra O, right? Like and you downloaded the bad version
But they
of Chrome.
want
Yeah,
they
that's
want
what
you
I'm
to
saying.
use the App Store. Is what
That's what
they're
I'm saying.
pushing
If
you to the
went
App
Google
Store.
with 3 O's or 2 O's, you're still gonna get the same warning, and that's not training users to actually like be careful.
No, it's training users
Whereas-
to go to the App Store.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's
But
what they're trying to do.
they're like, too many buttons. I'm bored.
Do you know what I really would love to see in a OS package? It's like so you have an App Store style package manager for the GUI stuff, right? Like for your normie everyday stuff. And what you do is you are able to add pub keys in there. So pub keys of maintainers, you can add them yourself to the nice, pretty GUI thing. So can you imagine you can add like all the Bitcoin Core maintainer pub keys in there?
Wait, this
when
doesn't
you-
exist.
Huh?
This doesn't exist.
doesn't
right?
exist. So if,
Yeah, I
if
want
there is
this.
a freak out there that's a great Objective C developer that wants to build this for Mac, like there is a market. I would pay like honestly $20 a month to have this shareware application. Like you can make it stop working if
And
you
wait,
want to.
what would it do based on those keys? It wouldn't.
It would
warn you?
check every time I open the application. It checks that the binary of the application still matches the key.
Yeah.
And I want this for every piece of software
Yeah.
that's running on my computer with a GUI stupid so I don't have to think about it.
I started a project.
But then
kinda
you have to
like-
verify that piece of software. Too.
No, you don't. This I mean, of course. Yeah, check the signature when you download
I
it.
started a project
No,
kinda
you
like-
don't.
And yes,
Well,
check it. I know
it's
what
like-
you mean now.
It's like a password manager. If it gets pwned, then they have all your
Yeah.
passwords type of thing.
I started a project
Yeah.
kind of like that called Hash Cop.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
That was kind of the idea, and then I got stuck because Rust GPG.
See, that's why you don't use
implementation
Rust.
Was like, uh,
Be based. Screw Rust. Just get into C.
I should have wrote it in Python.
That's
An
right.
assembly.
C and assembly only. Yes. But I think this is a good segue to binary watch. You guys caught something. You said.
Yeah, we did catch Join Markets binary. Was a bad binary. It was not an evil one. It was just that GitHub changed some bytes on their tar file. Sketchy as fuck by GitHub. It's probably them just testing to make sure on our toes before they give us the bad stuff, right? So yeah, so Binary Watch caught it and alerted. And then we told Adam and like he checked and it was true, it was bad, and then he re-released it. So yeah, we want to add more projects now to Binary Watch because it does work.
I thought I saw the Twitter catch a Core Lightning one too.
Well, sometimes there's some false positives because like especially when they release a new version, sometimes we haven't like gotten the thing right, or it's the same file name, or it's not perfect, right? Because this is a side project. We don't have a guy on it like all day every day kind of thing. But what's cool is that once it's there, it's kind of like set it and forget it.
Yeah.
And it's on Nostr too as a bot.
I follow it.
Who has the Nostr bot? I know you got like the Opportune bot, but who has like the Nostr bot?
What do you mean?
Is there like a Twitter Nostr bridge bot or something?
We don't want that. That's bad.
I hate the bridges.
Yeah, because it incentivizes people to just get lazy in one of the platforms, and then everybody just ends up like that's what happened to Mastodon.
Yeah, you had a bot, right?
It was just all bot.
Yeah, it was just bots, and then
Repost
the
bots.
best was the bots retweeting the bots.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's just so bad. Yeah,
I mean, I find less and less reason to use Twitter.
yeah.
Like Nostr's we've already hit, at least if you're a Bitcoiner, we've already hit critical mass. I feel like the discussion I want to have
like
is happening on
Chinese
Nostr.
porn.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I don't do global feed. No global feed.
Good.
Yeah.
There's literally Chinese porn on there.
Oh my
yeah.
God, it's the biggest
Yeah.
use. Like
Yeah.
the most amount of users
Just
are Chinese
endless.
bot porn.
Maybe I'm gonna use it now.
Don't tell me.
You here. Pickle Tony is gonna watch the.
Marty just became the anti-Nostr just now.
No one tell him. No one tell him.
Marty.
Freaks. I'm swearing you to silence.
No, that's
Well, it's tough. It's tough because the global
The
feed was
Chinese
really
porn.
fun for discovery before
They're sending it to sites.
that's actually really bullish because like bandwidth and the internet really took off because of porn, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like Nostr
It's
is
proving
following
that there is
the push.
demand.
Yeah.
It's already proved the use case.
Jeez, that's
Once porn goes to it, it means you're on the right track with technology.
True though.
It really is. I mean, gambling and porn.
But yeah, the
So we need a
UX
DLC marketplace on Nostr, and then we really made it.
Yeah, my biggest problem with Nostr right now is like the UX of like finding a pub, like an in pub somewhere, copy and pasting that to follow that.
No,
We
what
do
it,
that on Damos.
No, it's changing the incentives. It like brings it back to the value of who you're following and also who you retweet, because you're basically providing that, like all of a sudden, like the retweet actually has value again, and like who you're following has value again. It's completely different. And you can go to like, so I was fucking around with Amethyst, or horrible fucking name, however you pronounce it on Android.
I was making fun of Ty. That was
And-
like, oh, we're in this group chat. Join us on Amethyst. I was like, wait, is that like a
So-
Grindr competitor?
So part of the only reason I've got to really enjoy Nostr is because I have this fucking MacBook, so I'm using the emulated Damus, right? Like, but so I tried Amethyst because I was like, oh, I want to have it on mobile because I'm only on this
Android.
laptop is the only way I can access Nostr, and it wiped all my follows, like everyone I was following. So then when I logged into Damus, it was just a feed of myself. It was just only my posts, right? So then I had
There's
to
no
refollow.
wiping. Wait, no, there's no wiping. No,
Look, it happened.
your follow
it
list
doesn't
is
matter.
also events.
No, not who's following me, who I'm following.
Yes.
Whatever. It got wiped.
There's
I
no
promise
wiping
you.
for
I
either
promise you. I had to
direction.
refollow people. I saw with my own 2 eyes and fingers.
No,
But my
no,
point
no,
is-
no, that's no.
but the
here's
way
what
I
happened.
did it-
No. Here's what happened.
Ben
okay.
knows too.
You were pushing to a specific relay. Your follow list was going to a relay. That
No,
you were
I'm
not,
connected
that
to-
you didn't bring over to Damos.
No, you can overwrite your follows. It's just a list of keys.
Yeah, I know, but I don't
So
think
it's
that
not
that's
like
what
a
happened.
Look,
series of events.
None of this matters.
That stuff was stuck in
This
different
part.
relays.
This was
That
not the
does
point.
matter.
This
Because are
was
you a
not the
liar?
point.
Are you
Paul,
a liar?
Paul, the point was, what I did was I went to NVK's.
I know
looked
you
up-
had to get rid of your Chinese porn
No,
followers.
the point was I looked up NVK's NPub. I went to his account. I followed him, and then I went through his follow list, and then I would pick people from there to go through their follow list. Like that's how I did the discovery.
Do you know there's
So
going
I'm-
to be soon relays of follow sets for you to follow? Like you could just like sort of like if you get into something, you can just like you can automate this, so you can have like a relay that just holds follows for you. Like, and there's going to be also relays that offer algo feeds, right? So you can have a feed with a decent algo. It doesn't have to be an evil algo. It could just be an algo that removes duplication of retweets, for example, right? And you can follow that. All this stuff is sort of like in the works by people.
But anyway, my point is that
That you think discovery is good because you're
You actually have
who follows.
like the alternative is you go into Twitter and they decide
Right.
what the algo feeds you, right?
Well, but Twitter's had the thing where you can look at who somebody follows, but they have famously a discovery problem. That's like been their biggest like strike versus like the other social network. Is like people get on Twitter and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's why they like feed you all the accounts when you sign up or whatever.
Right.
Like,
but like, yeah, I've got like a list of in-pubs.
also, NVK's website, brb.io, CoinKite's website, fantastic. Like you can just search.
Kind of semi-dead right now.
Isn't it the number
Very
one
slow.
China relay?
You can no, you can search by NIP5,
Yeah, you can search.
which is the point I was
You
making.
can search. You can do text search too. It's kind of fun.
So you can just type in, you know,
Is it true
Odell
it's
at
all in
werunbtc.com and you
Yeah,
got
it's 100% on Redis.
That's insane.
Yeah, we got like 256 gigabytes of RAM on this box. But it's bare metal, right? Unmetered. But it only takes really like, I think right now we have like 1 million events kind of thing. So that's like 10, 15 gigabytes. And that includes all the caching and the picture caching.
but
and,
it's only been up for like a month, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the majority of the events really came in the last 2 weeks. The China bots.
So what do you think? I mean, we were talking before about like the paid relay phenomenon.
Yeah, it's great. That's what's going to happen, right? We're going to have private relays. Maybe they're paid, maybe they're free, but they're like sort of like invite only. So you have to whitelist pub key for people to join.
Right.
So for example, say we have
someone did that for like they just were like, Odell, like I whitelisted your pub key on this.
Yeah, so like say we have like a group of friends, right? Like that sort of has like a large Venn diagram here, right? So I go like, I just invite you all, and now you're on this relay, and it could be commingled in the feed with everybody else.
We could have like a Bitcoin Park relay.
But the cool thing is, like say it's like, maybe like the main feed is a little too busy this week. You can just sort of like turn it off, right?
I've got a work call, but I love you guys.
Appreciate you, Paul.
See you, Paul.
Hey,
I'm supposed to be on that call. Let them know I apologize for not joining.
See you, future Paul. you productive beast. You.
It should be interesting, like all the different tactics used to try and combat spam.
well, the cool thing is you don't need permission, right? That's the main difference. Like you can go and build your sort of like relay ID or your feed ID or whatever, and maybe like people join, and it could be commingled. The commingling of everything is the awesome part.
I fucking love that you can't block anybody.
You can block people.
No,
Oh, yeah.
that's a mute.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like I can always reply under any fucking person's post. They can't stop me from doing that. On
Unless they
Twitter,
run the
that's
relay.
prolific.
Yeah. That is nice, yeah. Like, because that's what like all the shitcoiners would do. They like turn off
Yep.
replies or block out.
That guy, like BitBoy Crypto or whatever.
Yeah.
He blocked me
Another
before he
people brand.
even fucking like started his run to shitcoin fame.
Wow.
He like preemptively blocked me because I guess I have a tendency to like reply guys scammers.
Is Barry replying to you anytime soon?
Barry hasn't blocked me.
How many days
How
has
many
it been?
days?
Do you think he's seen any of my tweets?
How many?
You had to
days?
have seen them.
Where's the money?
I don't know. It's probably been like 90 days now or something, 100 days.
Look at that.
I stopped counting at like 67 or something. I felt like the point got across. It hit like mainstream. Everyone knew Barry owned the money. That's pretty fucked up.
You saw Craig lost that UK lawsuit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw like all the
But-
different square up organizations and everyone on that legal document.
Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw.
I
the
wonder if there's
final.
going to be some like.
Wait, this is the Vanderlon stuff? Like the developer stuff? Or
Yeah, where it was.
I think it was
the
against
UK
like
or is it
patent
different?
stuff.
It
Like
was
it
the
was like
UK
Copa was in there.
Oh, but that's different than the liability thing that's happening now, right?
Why do people sue him for libel? The opposite, go the opposite direction.
What?
Start like, oh, you're talking about this DAVs and you're causing me this amount.
I think
damage, whatever.
Copa sued him for something. I don't remember
Why
what
is he
they
in
sued
jail
him
for perjury? Like he's
Oh, I mean,
clearly
let's not
lied.
even start there. I mean, like, he's passed.
Why is he not dead?
The healthy man.
Social consensus. This is how we take care of that problem, right?
It is
Okay, Fed.
interesting that like perjury. They say you can't lie in a court, but
Yeah,
but
Literally, you
the
can.
outcomes say something. else.
yeah, I don't know the statistics on how many people like go to the pokey for perjury in court.
I mean, there was nothing more. I was lucky enough to go see that in Norway, and it was just 4 hours of perjury. It wasn't the slip up. It was making shit up on the spot. The counter lawyer would be like, "Well, you just said you wrote this document. It was literally submitted by evidence by you saying this person wrote it. Like, just a reminder, you're under oath here." And then 4 more hours of that. It's like,
I'm impressed. That's talent. Like, just sit down and lie with the
That
straight face
is
for
his
4
talent.
hours
Really-
straight. How
really
come he isn't
did,
playing
like,
poker?
at one point, he like chuckled and was like,
Where
"Oh,
do you
I
think
was
the money
I
comes
was
from?
three bottles of wine deep, and I had just gotten a terrible call from like the bankruptcy lawyers in Australia." And the opposing lawyer was just like, that wasn't you. You actually, this was someone else who wrote this. Yeah, perjury doesn't matter. Apparently, you can perjure. Heard it here first.
Good to know.
But particularly what's happening with a lot of Bitcoin core devs is he's taken it to another level, right? Like he's essentially said that they're liable for any code they write or contribute to.
Despite the warranty clause.
I mean, this guy must be
might
spook funded
Right.
at this point.
Like
Like,
this-
it's not even Calvin Air anymore. Like, because he's not gonna win any money.
Right. The software license specifically says that there's no warranty or liability on it, but
Well,
this
that was
UK court is
That was the
basically
case. Yeah, it was the software license. They said there was no direct evidence of like him creating it or something. I forget what the
Well,
word. Or it was work. It was like there was no work that was evident.
So is this like UK citizens, or we should just encourage developers not to even set foot in UK?
well,
type thing?
Vanderlaan isn't a UK citizen. He's
None of them are.
He's in the
They
EU,
have like deals, right? Legal deals.
The
with, like,
European
Europe and
Union negotiation. Yeah.
but the UK's not even in the European Union.
No, but they still have like like US.
Yeah,
would
they have
like
counter
deals with some
deals, yeah.
places for some things, and
No, yeah, I'm aware. But that's pretty fucked up. Like if that gets held up, I mean, I don't know what Ben's saying. Ben, I think it's the opposite, right? Like the appeal was a loss, right?
yeah, it was a loss for Craig.
Yeah, but that got
Appealed, right?
appealed, and now it's on again.
Oh, I'm sure he appealed it.
Yeah,
he
but
probably-
so they're gonna go to court for that.
And the
I
problem.
got some alerts saying he lost like the case. The judge
he lost
ruled.
something else. There's too many fucking trials with.
Yeah, he's like there's like a million trials.
Too many
but they're
trials,
two
too many
different things.
jurisdictions, too many
I
individuals.
saw this
yeah.
one coming last.
And the problem is like these judges are like, "Huh, this is an interesting argument. Let's have a court case to decide this." It's like, no, it's very obvious he's just lying, but we have boomers in courts and stuff, so they can't.
but this is the thing that like a lot of Bitcoiners don't get. I talked to I had this panel about estate concerns like in litigation and stuff. Like courts don't care if like SHA-256 is correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you may have possession of something, but you might not have title of something, right? And like it's like that is not necessarily compatible with the law, right? I mean, like somebody else, you might leave your stuff to somebody, and then the court decide that no, the other person gets it, right? Like it's
also
pretty wishy-washy.
it's also dependent on like a lot of times like a 75-year-old
Yeah.
judge like understanding tech that came out within like the last.
But the other person is crying, so it must be true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you imagine trying to? I mean, Carman might be able to answer this. Like, can you imagine trying to explain like cryptographic ownership to my mom like that? Like she could be a judge or something. Like that's a lot of these judges aren't very technical. We get lucky when there are ones like the Norway case. I think the judge was pretty base, could like follow the tech, but there's a lot of people I know that could not follow the tech at all.
So is it a wallet or is it a signing device?
What's an Xpub?
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, donate to OpenSats Legal Fund.
Yeah, Legal Defense Fund, opensats.org.
I mean, how old is that guy again? Craig Wright?
50
Like-
probably.
Oh Jesus, he's still got another like 40 years.
I hope not.
It really makes you like lose complete faith in any kind of legal system or anything like that.
Did you have any?
No, not
They're
really.
not gonna
I
be
mean,
on
look
our
at like
side.
Ross and
I didn't at all, really.
like Snowden.
But like
or,
if that wasn't enough,
Assange, and the list just
people-
goes. That dude, the what's the name? The Tornado Cash kid.
yeah.
It's just
Alexei, right?
I mean, do you think he eventually stops getting bankrolled if he keeps losing, or is it just unlimited budget?
Well, Calvin has a shit ton of money.
I mean, I know, but so
no, but still, like this doesn't smell right. I mean, like there must be like some other thing.
Big
to
backer, right?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's spending like millions and millions of dollars.
it's like 12
While
million.
holding BSV that's gone like to
Yeah, I
zero.
know, but like you know, and he's
like
not,
he's
but
lost like billions at this
But
point.
here's the thing, right? Like he either has some other like some chess going on here, because like he knows that if he wins in a certain way, maybe he can go sue some big corpse, right, for like civil damage or whatever. Or he's just doing Spook's job by wasting everybody's time and scaring people from working on Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
nice
totally-
blank checks.
It's totally possible Calvin Ayers captured. He like ran the gambling site and like.
I
a
mean,
lot of
that's
sketchy
why
shit.
people tell me not to use PIA too,
What's that?
the private internet access VPN.
Roger Ver was on the board.
Yeah.
PIA is definitely a honeypot. No one should use PIA. VPNs are a very trusted relationship. If you have any concerns whatsoever, you should just stay as far fucking away from them as possible.
A VPN provider walked in the comments the other day.
iVPN, right? Victor.
Yeah, and I was
He's awesome though.
yeah, he seems like it, but
Well,
I asked him
Trust
straight
him.
up if he was a spook. He said no.
Well, there
Oh,
we go.
okay,
Heard
there
it
we
here
go.
first.
Can't lie.
Well, at least I asked him.
You
Right?
know, you can also just like get yourself.
Matt, are you a
like,
spook?
No.
Get yourself like a VPS and just run your own VPN. Like like
No,
have an
but
endpoint.
there's a benefit to a hosted VPN. Yeah, you have anonymity set.
I mean,
It's true. No, I mean it depends what your goal is. It depends if you're
Yeah,
just
sure.
protecting yourself from the local ISP, then like it makes sense that you want to do that. But if you're trying to do like cross-site fingerprinting and shit, then you want to make sure you can hide in the crowd. And like don't use it for like absolutely, mission critical sensitive shit.
Don't use it for nostr Chinese porn.
before
No, it's
Tor-
great for Nostr,
It's
but
great.
not
It's-
maybe like Nostr is like a perfect example for it, right? It's
Well,
like you
all
have
the
a different
images
IP
load,
address
right?
every
Like,
time. What?
you go fetch the images whenever they load, so like that's
Yeah,
coming from the
that's
client
total IP leak right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean that's
But
why you want to
gonna
run a
get better, right?
VPN.
As soon as the client starts just caching that, because they could use a caching CDN to do
Sure.
that, right?
Mhm.
Because they're already using Cloudflare.
But there's definitely gonna be relays that monetize that information, right?
Yeah, of course there
Yeah.
will be. I mean, Cloudflare, aside from just being the CIA front for reading all your information on the internet, I mean, it is the man in the middle. I mean, 100%.
It's completely free.
I mean, it's free. Like literally, you can have like the biggest traffic on earth that would cost somebody like $100,000 a minute, right? And this guy's, we do it for free.
Tony's the biggest Cloudflare
But-
fan I know.
I'm experimenting with Cloudflare right now.
It's great. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it is great.
truly is remarkable.
Tony, are you a spook?
But no.
that was a very convincing.
I hope that was convincing. I don't know.
I
they
mean,
they
like-
both said no. That checks out to the previous statement about the other VPN guy.
I mean, there's absolutely
Victor.
no way that they're not spooked, right? So like, you just assume that, and they can read all your non-encrypted stuff.
Their office is right above the Commons.
But Cloudflare?
Yeah, and they're on the 5th floor.
Is that
But
why
then-
Marty couldn't access his BTC pay?
What are you experimenting with on Cloudflare?
Right
You're-
now I'm trying to see if it's a good platform to use at all. So right now my new Ghost blog is hiding behind Cloudflare. So experimenting.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to survive a lot of like high traffic
DOS.
stuff without like no, just like
Yeah.
even like being a nostr relay, like you just can't survive without doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's a common self-hosting trade-off you see a lot.
Is it
Yeah.
a good alternative at this point?
No, because like if you have infinite money as the spooks, they're going to offer for free.
And
Like,
and then
you know,
my
they're gonna
theory
pay
is
those
it goes farther than that. They're also behind the
Oh yeah,
DOSing. So
no,
they,
yeah. They literally
they
will
force
DOS
you into Cloudflare.
Yes,
yeah.
they would DOS you as a Bitcoin
Oh,
company way back in the day, and then force you.
All the exchanges for a long time are using Cloudflare.
Yeah.
Most of them probably still are, right?
Everybody is.
What's
Yeah.
the term like creating the poison? So
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
But thank you for being at least free. I mean,
I'm paying.
I mean, like it's, yeah.
Is Norton antivirus still free?
Right.
You're the product in that one. So
Well, it's like Box. Was it box.net or whatever? Like one of these websites that you Dropbox.
The hosting, yeah.
Here, put your information unencrypted in this thing, and we're only gonna charge you like $5 a month for you to have like a quadrillion gigabytes and like
Make it
like
so easy.
yeah, and like and also infinite bandwidth. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't trust any of it.
Well, Skype is the same. Eventually everybody gets compromised.
Self-custodial, self-host, self-mine. Get all your medals for hosting materials. Build your rack. Like this is a Steve Jobs quote. Get on the beach. Build your own chips. Like do it all.
Have a CDN in every country in the world.
Yeah.
Easy stuff. Easy stuff.
What was the Giacomo quote that was said yesterday? If you don't mine your own metals, you're not a Bitcoiner.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I guess none of us are Bitcoiners. Maybe you, NVK. You might mine your own metals.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do put more gold than we should on our boards just because it looks pretty. I feel like I'm owning Peter Schiff by doing that.
At least half the people here now have done it in Minecraft for a good significant portion of last month.
Yeah.
Is virtual mining? Does that count?
No, that's like masturbation.
Yeah,
It doesn't count.
that's what I assume. You heard it, Sahil.
Wow.
That's right.
Probably in the chat right
I know he's in the chat. Yeah, that was a cool little integration we had, though. I don't play Minecraft, but it's pretty badass.
It's awesome. Well, we're talking about Satlantis, our friend's Minecraft server. Where
I've never played Minecraft.
you can mine.
Me neither have I.
Me neither, but it's still really fucking cool.
I don't
saw it.
understand it.
I cannot understand either. It's like I'm too boomer for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why are you putting blocks on top of each other
Don't
for no reason?
understand it.
And then people have a problem with ordinals.
It's not
Yeah.
like reason now, though. They like
Yeah, I understand ordinals way more.
So what David did with Satlantis is like a specific server. You can buy ASICs. There's a global hash rate. You literally can you earn
Amazing.
Bitcoin. And then what we did is we like plugged in our gift card API. So the people who don't want to withdraw their wallet, they can just like cash out to a Visa card or Amazon card.
Oh, that's
But it's
clever.
like it's actually cool.
It's a clever cash out mechanism.
yeah,
and then he's actually getting like kids and
there's,
like,
like,
people
randos,
that
yeah.
actually play it and then they cash out to.
But where does the
Visa.
Bitcoin come from?
Yeah.
we sponsored the
Who's
first
the yield?
Oh, I see.
10 million sats, and then if you want to buy ASICs in game, like I think part of it goes into the
50%.
prize pool, but he's funding a little bit of it. But right now it's TBC, and we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, what I really liked was I forget whose game it was. It was early on in the Lightning Gaming, but he had advertisements
That's
in
Con,
the game.
Donner Labs, Bitcoin Bounty
Yeah,
Hunt. I
and
did
you
a
could
consulting
pay
for them. I
anyone-
told them do in-game ad bidding.
It's so good.
And him
Anyone
and
can bid the
Peter,
ad.
who's now at Blockstream, and Jonas obviously was working there too, like because their brothers Con and Jonas. They released this and they hit it out of the park. It was so fucking sick. Like whatever memes, whatever your Citadel Dispatch logo.
Yeah, I kept paying for Dispatch and RHR.
I put the
ads.
Blockstream lizard logo. I was messing around.
And then
with
you have an
too.
infinite prize. You have an infinite prize pool, and then the game actually has sustainable.
Yeah.
They can actually live,
Waiting
right?
for
Because then
GTA
they
to
can take
roll
a
this
cut.
out. Like on their, they already have billboards in the game. They already have like radio ads. Like they literally
Like
should
fake ads. Like may as
They're
well
fake
sell-
ads,
sell
yeah.
real ones.
Like you could literally just put like real billboard ads in the game and sell like a lot, like a good amount of money. They have multiplayer now too. It was sick. I remember buying some ads on.
Yeah, Con's he was a great entrepreneur.
Where did that go? I'm surprised that actually
I-
that model didn't pick.
Well, I think like it was the bear market and just like understanding business models and stuff and what actually scales and like how much it costs versus raising VC and well infra play.
Bring it back.
He felt that it wasn't like a long-term thing he wanted to do. Now he's at Lightning Labs. He contributed to PeerSwap. So he's been like fairly
He just
successful.
He needs one enterprise sales guy to go pitch Epic Games or GTA or like get it in one of those. And
Dude,
Well-
Fortnite with Sats.
It,
be nice.
Was supposed to be.
well, so that's the thing. Like the
Yeah.
Satoshi's
And then
games,
they-
people tried,
How'd
and
that
they did the
work out?
NFTs, and
Now
Which
the
they
Solana
their
game.
adoption.
Where did they go to? They
Solana.
They went to Solana, and
Yeah.
it's very
It's
disappointing.
called
they go
Elixir
under?
now.
No, they didn't go. Satoshi Game.
I heard. So
Couldn't
this is what
find that.
I looked at like the
Probably checked
web page, and I couldn't like it was
No,
404.
so it's Elixir.
It's Elixir. Yeah, they
Solana
rebranded.
So they pivoted to, I think, like my basic understanding of what Zebedee does with Sats is like they pivoted to like the idea that instead of making the games, they just integrate
Yeah.
Solana into your games. But like with ZBD, it's they're integrating Sats.
Satoshi would be
Oh,
so
that's
proud.
one thing I'm super hyped for and super proud of Zebedee. Like me and Ben, we were at this hackathon that Lisa put together in December 2021, and we had this thing called Smash Bears where we could kind of gamble based on
I remember
predicting.
that.
Yeah. So Zebedee basically is doing that now with like actual AAA games, and that's like
Yeah, that's the
huge.
play. Rather than
Yeah.
making new games,
Yeah.
like there's already
Game development
hundreds of
part
millions of dollars going into
on
game
DLCs?
development.
not real DLCs.
It's just custodial betting.
Yeah, I think they're doing custodial, but like that's how you get
Start.
like the on ramp. Yeah, exactly. Maybe down the road they have like a DLC non-custodial
Once they get
flow.
sued, you make it non-custodial.
Well, no, but they have all the licenses and everything. Like I'm pretty sure
Gambling
they're like,
licenses are fucking hard.
yeah,
man.
exactly. They it's like the whole MTL play, right? Like
mean-
you have to go.
But that's one of the cool things to me about, just to bring it back to LDK, is like this idea of like light mobile kind of first clients. And then, because that's the problem, right? It's like, okay, you don't want friction. So you end up going with custodial lightning. Like everything is custodial lightning because we don't have easy, low friction, at least, semi self custody lightning, right? Like at least like move a little bit closer to that trade-off balance, so where we could at least tell regulators like, oh, we can't just rug by design,
Yeah.
because then they need to get the licenses everywhere.
Right, like the regulation is going to kick up, I think, on these custodians.
And then you have friction on
Yes.
that side, so
But
it's like a battle of friction.
And then
Yep.
it's the non-KYC custodians. It's like, okay, how long are those going to last? And
They never do, but like Wallet Satoshi has lasted forever. Like I've been
I'm so surprised.
doom posting about them for a long time.
I thought it'd last like a month, and it's like
Historically,
5 years later.
custodians get fucking whacked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They
that's
either-
what happened to like the whole. Like I remember we felt that way, especially because of Tippin.me, right?
Right.
That's why he shut it down. right?
Yeah.
Also, like that got pretty dirty towards the end because there was no like outbound liquidity. Like
You
couldn't like withdraw for shit.
Oh yeah, drop it. That guy
Yeah,
went
drop-
like to jail.
yeah,
And then everyone got on Lightning got rugged at the same time by the feds.
yeah,
Drop it.
yeah. I have one of their shirts still.
Yeah, I mean they made a big marketing push right before because he was running a Bitcoin, but that was because he was running a Bitcoin mixer. I want to be clear here, like to me, the big revelation was BitMEX, because BitMEX was no KYC.
Yep.
They did billions of dollars of volume. They made, probably made over $1 billion.
They literally blocked US IPs. Like, what more can you? Like,
But my point is, they all got what? They all got $10 million fines and like 6 months house arrest, right?
I think it doesn't matter about the regulations. Once you have like enough money, you do really well. You're gonna start having champagne problems. You're gonna have to pay the tax collector. Like,
Right. That's what happened to
the
Voorhees,
extortion-
right?
Yeah.
It's like
exactly.
Voorhees was
They want
complete
their cut.
and cap,
They want
and
their cut.
then he
Yeah.
got too big, and then at that point they had something to take from him, right?
Yep.
And-
Exactly.
They'll figure out a way of getting their cut. Like they're really like, it's exactly like the mafia, right? Like,
Yeah.
these guys who figured out a way.
You see local Bitcoin shutting down.
Yeah, end of an era.
Yeah.
I mean, but they've had KYC for a while now.
Yeah, they like shut down really in like 2018 when they added
Added
that.
the KYC.
Yeah. I mean, if I was them, I would have shut down then. But
That's why they shut down, right? It's because their volumes probably, and also like when these exchanges always have the issue where like you make the first transaction with them. It's like Airbnb. It happens with Airbnb. You make the first transaction with them, and then after that, you always go directly to the person, so you don't have to pay them a fucking cut.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like you have your guy, you have your Bitcoin guy, right?
Yep.
You have an Airbnb. You're like, why am I paying Airbnb 30% when we can meet in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
especially with credit cards, it's like, oh, I got to Zelle you, or you figure out
Right.
this hard thing. With Bitcoin, it's like literally native to it, so there's really no reason.
You can just do a tap now.
When you
Or you
still,
can just give a
you still
stats
have the
card.
fiat side, and for local Bitcoins, you still have the fiat side, right?
But you had to figure that out anyways. Like,
Yeah.
there's like local Bitcoins doesn't have a bank account you send through,
Right.
so you still have to figure that
Right.
out.
That's why all these companies try and control the payment flow, right? Like
Yeah.
Uber's big thing was like the drivers don't accept payment. They take the payment and then they cut out the drivers so that they're in the point of leverage. Same with
Well,
Airbnb.
But it makes it like a little easier on the driver side too, because like they don't want to have to like integrate credit cards themselves and deal with fraud and all that. It's like it's a hard problem.
And you can't just call your Uber driver and say, "Come pick me up." Like, they're probably going to be busy.
But this is the thing too. Like a lot of like Uber drivers and Airbnb
Well, Uber's
owners,
just
like
losing a
they
shit ton
don't
of
want to
money.
do it. They like the app. They like the
Yeah.
non bullshit. Like they don't have to deal with anybody. They just press the button.
Well, I mean, Uber is just subsidizing everything right now, right? Like they just like as they scale, they just lose more and more
Yeah.
money.
It became like a TAM game amongst like if you were following back in the day with Didi Chuxing and all the M&A that went down, like literally VCs were just throwing money and it was who can subsidize it, and give more like credits and just
Yeah.
like acquire the most markets and
Fiat
whatever.
maxi bullshit.
Exactly. Whoever can get all of the market, and then I guess once like the others drown out because they run out of capital, then they'll just rake up the prices, and they
Right.
might be more expensive than taxis again.
I remember reading like it was like a
I love yellow taxis now when I'm visiting New York. The nostalgia is great. They're so simple, easy to use. You can get them so easily now because everyone's Ubering.
they're still an asshole to
You
you.
can pay in cash.
The instant gratification of like flagging a taxi
This is great.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, the cool thing
Use
is
the
that,
fucking
like-
mic.
Oh, sorry. Where I live, the bigger cab company there, if you have their app, you can flag a taxi, right? And then you just scan their little tablet there, and boom, you're connected. And then at the end of the ride, you can just walk out because it does
Ah.
proper payments.
So you
it's
get both
kind-
ends.
Yeah, man. Like the flagging it's like, because it's what I call Uber minutes, right? Like they'll say, "Oh, we're 1 minute away," and it's really 10, right? Like it's infuriating.
Well, they
right?
park 2 blocks away. You just gotta walk over. Like,
That's
Yeah.
right. But with taxi flagging, it's just like, bam, you got it.
Never done that in my life.
You've
Never
never
flagged a
use the
taxi.
mic, bro.
I've never flagged a taxi in my life.
Wow.
Man, we're tired. His mics are heavy.
Yeah, I
2
mean,
hours.
yeah, I think we should
Yeah,
wrap
too.
because there's a lot
holy shit.
of other things going on right now.
We're
But
probably recording something else.
this is, yeah, we have another podcast to get to.
Yeah.
This
We
has
should
been
do
a great
podcast on the podcast.
conversation. Let's end with some final thoughts. MBK, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Go to our store and reserve code card. Q1.
Cheers to that.
Thanks.
Thanks, MBK. Vivek, final thoughts.
Do your best. Keep learning. Don't be scared of things you don't understand, like inscriptions. I'm a fan of full blocks. Thank you.
Thanks, Vivek. Tony, final thoughts.
Vibes are high here at Bitcoin Park, like always. Looking forward to coming back. I do have a place to send people now, TonyGiorgio.com. I paid $1,000 for that domain.
Wow.
I own pickletony.com.
Oh my god! All right, soon pickletony.com. But other than that, yeah, vibes are high here. Check out Austin next week as well. It should be fun.
Cheers. Thanks, Tony. Carmen, final thoughts.
Yeah, you should come to the Bitcoin capital of the world next week in Austin. And fuck Craig Wright.
Cheers to that. Price, final thoughts.
Yeah.
You had the whole table to think about
Yeah.
it.
Be nice to each other. World's falling apart. People are gonna need you soon. Stay humble, stack stats.
He's gonna steals my
Get
fucking.
wrecked.
Well, I'm glad you feel it. I'm glad you feel the love. Love you all. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for coming to Nashville. It's been a really fucking great week so far.
Thanks for hosting us.
And we're not done yet, so it'll be let's just keep fucking going. To the freaks, reminder, I got Steve Lee coming tomorrow morning, rabbit hole recap in the afternoon, and then on Sunday before the Super Bowl, Casey about ordinals and inscriptions. And maybe, who knows, maybe there'll be another 2 dispatches in between those as well.
Go birds.
So
Go birds.
fuck the Eagles.
Go birds.
Love you all.